All right. I can't wait.
I just thought you could put it in a fish tank and it's still fresh.
Oh, well, if they're alive, but I think in there they'll still degrade and die. You know.
I don't know. That's why I say I don't know how to ship the whole thing. How it works. We have to figure this out.
Oh shit! All right. Here we go then. In 3, 2, 1.
It's my IP to sit on and do nothing with.
Core.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Core. This is Core, the video game podcast you came here to hear, and the only place on the internet that knows how to fully pronounce all Final Fantasy protagonist names correctly.
That's right.
We can do it.
Doesn't matter if it's Titus, Butts, or Cliv. We know them all.
Cliv. Oh man, I just saw the dude who played Clive, or not Clive. The other one. Who's his buddy? He's always the buddy.
Lorath.
No, that's Sid? The actor, but who's what?
Sid.
Thank you, jeez. Sid. Guy
the
what plays Sid.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, he's in the guy that plays the most current Sid though is in that new Omen movie, the first Omen. I watched that last night. And it's getting to the point now. So he's also been it's the confirmation that he's the new Galactus for the Fantastic Four movie. I think that's all fine, but when he talks now, I only hear Sid. That's all I hear. And that's not good, I don't think. I don't think I'm supposed to typecast him, but I have.
I mean, that's a good typecast, though, because Sid's a good-looking dude in that. And, you can do a lot worse. I'd rather picture him than Lorath.
That's true. He looks a lot more like Lorath in real life, but yeah, he was, that movie's good. If you like horror movies and you like 70s aesthetic sort of, Catholic church is all devils kind of vibe thing that we used to do in the 70s, like the original Omen and stuff. That's basically this movie. It's pretty good, except there's an arm coming out of a vagina at one point. Out of vagina.
And that sounds like a Bond girl.
Hand out of vagina.
Hello, I'm out of vagina.
Oh man, I didn't mean to go there.
I'm here to be serious, Mr. Bond. It
was weird though. If you're a big Catholic fan, maybe don't go see it, I suppose. I don't know.
If you're a fan.
If you're a fan.
I don't think devout Catholics are actually fans, even when they are devout, Scott.
So it's not really a fandom? It's more of a...
I don't think it's a fandom, really.
Okay.
I like to think of them as fans, and that's a fandom.
Yeah, I have no idea.
They've got all the Jesus dolls.
They're probably what? I mean, if you had to ask a really devout Catholic, not a priest or a nun or something, but somebody who's just a devout, church-going Catholic, what would they call themselves? Just a Catholic, I don't know. Like, do you guys have a cool name for yourselves when you're hardcore?
Cathotaku.
Cathotaku. I like that.
Cathotaku is good.
Claire just says a Catholic. All right. She would know she's in France. Or, this is how my brain's going to go all night. She's in Ireland, for shit's sakes.
They got both of them, but anyway,
that's true.
Topic for another day.
It is a topic for another day. Instead, we're going to talk about Sony, of all people, and all the schmear they dropped, which was kind of a lot, sort of. I don't know. Compared to most of these things, it's about the same. But we're going to talk about it and see what we think. I did not get to see it live. I've seen chunks since, and it was the Sony State of Play. A lot of people are looking forward to this one, hoping to see some new stuff or maybe some PC stuff. And we got a little bit of both, I think. You guys saw a bunch of this, or did you see it live, or how?
I watched all of it live, the whole thing.
Did you? Were you?
Same.
Were you both hooked the whole time? Were you never felt like you know?
I mean, it went. Here's what I'll say: it went at a pace that putting all the things they talked about in the show notes kept me busy. So at no point was I bored.
Okay.
But I guess Summer Games Fest is coming up in. Is it a month? Is it a week?
Month
it's
or
soon.
It's
soon,
no, it's in
right?
June, but I guess June is literally tomorrow. So yeah, I think you're right. Less than a week.
I think it might be a week.
Yeah.
It's very soon, whenever it is.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And I think that a lot of big stuff is being saved for Summer Games Fest. and so maybe they didn't have as much to show here as might be expected in terms of like massive announcements.
Yeah.
Well, I think they thought some of this was massive.
Did they? I mean, they want you to think that, but do they really think that it's massive? You
Well,
know?
when we get into the meat of it, we can discuss it because the big one. I mean, I guess announcing a new diet flavor of a popular drink in the soft drink world counts.
Oh
as big.
boy!
But
Bo's.
diet Overwatch over here is
No, Bo's going hard right out of the gate.
Oh.
I thought I was gonna be the mean one on this. I'm gonna have to walk this back. I didn't
don't
know
wanna
Bo
be
was gonna
mean.
come out the gate with Diet Overwatch.
I imagine these guys worked really hard on their game.
We're talking about Marvel Rivals that we're talking about. Let's talk about that first.
We're talking about the first one. We're at the top.
You're talking about Concord? Okay, let's talk about Concord. You guys tell me your impressions of Concord. To start, Bo, you tell me. What do you think of Concord?
Well, diet Overwatch. I mean, the story was not good. Graphically, it would look impressive.
Well, it's not gameplay, so it's all pre-rendered
They
stuff.
did get to gameplay eventually.
Did they?
The big long trailer they eventually
the divide between gameplay and what they showed as a cinematic trailer seems as small as ever, you know. But
at the beginning of the trailer, it said not actual gameplay. I assume they
no.
This was like an Overwatch
cinematic.
short.
Yeah.
If an Overwatch short was diet. Like when I think of the Overwatch shorts, and some of those things move me to tears. And this was like, the guy likes hot sauce. Wow.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know. And it's like, what movies do you guys like? We like Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, well, let's kind of just rip off Guardians of the Galaxy.
It definitely has a Guardians look to it. 100%. Like the whole thing, colors.
But they also have that like sarcastic, you know, bickering.
Yeah, nobody's serious.
Except the weird guy who's like, I love you. Like the weird guy. Like those two are bickering. Lennox and the lady are like bickering.
Yeah.
And the weird guy's like, are you okay?
When you say the big guy, you mean the big guy, not weird guy.
The big blue guy.
Big blue
who's
guy.
Like,
yeah.
my crystals will help you.
Right. He's your tank.
Yeah.
I assume.
I mean, he's a big stoic character that talks about honorable deaths.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we're mining familiar territory here.
I mean, that sniper literally has Sojourn's ability. Her thing is to jump. She's a woman of color with powerful legs that jumps high.
Yeah.
Literally Sojourn.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like I get that shooters are going to have similar mechanics, and we can't, you know, we can put original things on things, but yeah, no, this I couldn't. It's just. This didn't look.
Well,
it looks good. It's good, like the best looking shovelware I've ever seen. Basically.
Well, I mean, worse or better than Marvel Rivals, because that one's got me real worried. I think that looks like garbage.
The most unfortunate thing, because the chat room is really mean, and I hate the chat room, and I hate being on the side. But one of the characters is called One Off, and literally 100 people were like this game.
Oh man. That's
you know,
dark.
like
Yeah.
It doesn't look good at all. I'm sorry. And you know, I'd much rather, if anything, it made me be like, I want to play Overwatch. So
Did you? Okay, so this brings the big question, John. I want your options or your opinions as well. But
Okay.
it feels weird that in 2024, literally 10 years after the announcement of Overwatch 1, that was the year. This feels late to the trend. The trend should have been 2016 through 2020, and now I don't get. I don't get it.
Mention that,
Yeah.
Scott, because that goes right into this is why AAA video games are a problem. This is a trend-chasing video game that is coming out way too late to capitalize on the trend, unfortunately. Like, they're coming out just in time for Overwatch to have crapped the bed so terribly that people aren't interested in this type of game anymore. And
CS,
we're getting
CS and Valorant are like huge.
Yeah, but
we're
CS
getting
isn't the same.
inundated with these sorts of things suddenly, because it took a long time. But okay, Bo went really hard on this game. And I've already said, I've made it clear, so people are probably expecting me to absolutely trash this thing, because I've said I think Overwatch 2 is so bad that it has ruined this entire genre of video gaming for me.
No.
And it's 100% true. The day I play another one of these is the day you know that game did something real impressive to make me interested in it. But here's what I will say. I will try and put a positive spin on this and talk positively about it. One, like cinematic wise, the animation and the graphics look really solid.
Yeah.
Like it did. They are promising, we'll see how this goes. They are promising that each week when you log into the game, you are going to get a new cinematic of these characters interacting and a window into their relationships and stuff like that. Now, I don't know anything about these characters besides the fact that somebody watched Guardians of the Galaxy too many times. But I think about it in the context of Overwatch, and I think, man, that would have been a cool thing for Overwatch to have. You know what I mean? Like, we did so much lore deep dives on, oh, Soldier 76 said, good to see you, brother. Does he have a brother? Like, people did so much of that with Overwatch that, like, you hear that as a feature and you hear, like, well, what if they were doing cinematics each week to progress a story? I would have been more into Overwatch in that world. Like, if that existed.
Yeah.
Now, right now, these are characters I don't particularly care about. They're really tropey. And not particularly my favorite trope in the world, but if they can pull it off well, and it's not just like, well, this week, what brand of hot sauce does Spiny Lizard Man like this week? Like, if they can do it well, that could be really, really cool. And that could be a big benefit to get people into this kind of game, because I think a big part of the reason why people have been falling off of Overwatch, besides the most diehard fans, is because we all kind of bought into that single player aspect, right? We all kind of bought into that, oh, there's going to be a narrative or something more narrative based to sink our teeth into. And a week to week cinematic thing can kind of do it. Again, it all comes down to execution, though. I think that's a cool promise. We'll see how they deliver on it. If they deliver, I think that could set it apart in a good way. But it also, you know, we're talking about Overwatch 2 exists. If you like that kind of game, it's rock solid. Now we have Concord. We have Marvel Rivals coming out, which looks like straight up lifted Overwatch with Marvel stuck on top of it. Yeah. You can actually play as real Guardians of the Galaxy in that one.
Yeah.
So we're getting into real competitive, familiar territory, and we'll have to see how it goes.
Derek in the chat says, John, I don't trust what you're talking about to happen at Blizzard. He's not talking about Blizzard. We're talking about...
Well, yeah, this is a different studio.
Yeah, this is Concord.
But
totally
yeah, no,
thing.
I wouldn't trust them to do it either. But it's, you know, this is what they're saying they're going to do. And if you want to buy into it, you can certainly check it out. I'm sure they'll be able to do it for a while, at the very least.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds expensive, unless they're talking about in-engine stuff. Maybe they've got a cool way of doing that, these guys. That's curious to me. I didn't know this part because I missed the presentation, but I didn't know that part of the cadence of the story. That could be cool. That's a big promise, though, you know?
Yeah.
Most companies don't want to put that kind of labor on this. So if it comes out in a year that, you know, some AI is doing these stories, that'll be a whole other conversation. We'll get there and talk about it when it happens. But anyway, that's Concord 5v5, baby.
I mean, it might just be you literally log in and two people have dialogue, so it's just...
Yeah, it could be
5. Like which is fine. Like
minutes.
in an RPG, you can tolerate just talking to a guy doing the same 3 animations with a bunch of dialogue, you know, if it's interesting. But I don't know, man. I didn't this ain't it.
Diet Overwatch. I love that.
Yeah, I'd rather just play Overwatch. For the record, I like Overwatch.
I do too. I don't hate Overwatch. I'm not like John with this. I do think Blizzard fumbled the ball so freaking hard that I understand his stance. Like 100%.
Yeah, like there's a lot to be upset about, but the characters and like even just the movie, like I said, even just the story, like the story trailers alone. Forget the game. Story trailers are awesome. Like,
yeah,
bar none. Like they're moving. They're incredible feats of animation. They're beautiful. Like they're great. Yes, I agree with John that heroes suffered at the hands of this thing, and that's a
Oh,
there's
that's
little resentment there. But like Overwatch is awesome. I'm sorry, but it's really good. And this Concord thing definitely reaching for that same market share, but I just think it looks not good.
I will amend that. What you said I will agree with, but amend slightly. I will say that I think Overwatch is good. I think they are currently poor stewards of it. I'll say that. And I don't mean the team. I mean
wanted
Blizzard.
the story. I mean, the part of the PvE was also having some story, because with PvE you get like, oh hey, send those Omnic overlords to New York City.
New York City.
New York City.
We needed to get Matt Berry to play the Omnic Overlord.
Have him play
Like
everything.
that.
Just have him play everything, man.
I mean, that would solve a lot of problems with Overwatch. Is just hiring Matt Berry to voice some robots. I think that would be great.
It would really change it. They burst into Omnic HQ. Oh shit!
Yeah, shit. Like, I've been vexed by the devil, or whatever, just whatever it is. Have him react that way. That'd be amazing. I love him, so you get my vote. Let's talk about the other team shooter, Marvel Rivals 5v5 third person shooter. Oh wait, I didn't. Is Concord first person or third? It's first, right?
It's first person. Marvel Rivals is third.
Okay, interesting. First person ones are hard with skins and stuff, so I'm always confused why they do that. But anyway, this one had a really pretty intro. I thought I liked this like treatment at the beginning with the, I don't know.
Have you seen Rivals before?
Yeah, I saw some gameplay stuff prior to this, and it looked like, well, it looked like a skin to Overwatch. Even this right here, this shot of Venom doing shit.
Looks like Hanamura.
I feel like I know where to go on this map because I've been here.
Yeah,
before.
yeah, this feels really familiar. Like this does feel like Hanamura, or that one. What's that one where you have to go across the bridges and you can fall off real easy? That's what this is. I mean, it does. It looks like they are playing. They're playing on a Overwatch map, and I don't think that's what you want. Yeah. You don't want that feeling.
Except the one thing that I have to put in Rivals column, and you're showing it right now to the video viewers, is destructible environments.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Now I don't know to what extent they're destructible, like the finals, like if they just break in the same way every time. But like I do appreciate the fact that your power moves are going to bust up the map.
I like that, and I like the fact that they're putting in team moves.
Right.
Like
combo moves.
Like combos together, I think is a cool addition.
Yeah, I want to write this one off too, but I can't. I've seen enough cool things to be like, I'm open to this. It really is just the net ease of it all. It's
that's where they.
I'm not a big fan of that company. Even though I know under the hood they do a lot of contract work and are probably responsible for a lot of things I like in the background, especially when it comes to Blizzard stuff. I know they've been frequent work collaborators, but
and they're financing Greg's game. I mean, they're the big financial backing on that thing. So.
Yeah, like it's so it's really just net ease for me. Screams that BlizzCon I went to with Diablo Immortal and the whole Diablo Immortal thing, and I really don't like what happened with Diablo Immortal, and that's the taste I have in my mouth when you're saying those guys are making this game. I feel like
I'm in the same boat. Diablo Immortal continues to find ways to mess with me and make me mad, because I got an email today that was like, Diablo, come log back in to check out our new class. And I was like, they just shadow dropped like a new class in Diablo 4. I am in. I'm ready to call it best season ever. Let me get in there. And then I went, oh, Immortal, damn it. I don't give a shit if you put a new class in Immortal. Don't email me this.
Yeah, don't tell me
put
that.
$1 million in there. I still don't want to log in and go get it.
Like, I was so mad, and I was like, what? There should be a way to opt out of Diablo Immortal.
Do they give you any, if you go log into Diablo Immortal, you give any cool shit in 4 for doing that? I wonder.
I don't care.
I know you don't.
Like they could give me, there's not a thing they could give me that would get me to log back into Diablo.
Okay, hold on. Let me think about that. What if they gave you a Deckard Cain skin for your one of your characters?
Okay, here's what they would have to do. a complete
Yeah.
reskin of Lorath into Deckard Cain.
Voice and everything.
So it's 100% him. He just comes in, he's like, I'm bloody starving. The name's Lorath. And then it gets really weird in that section of the game where they talk to him about Deckard Cain. He's like, I knew Deckard Cain.
Yeah. It would kind of get all effed up, but okay. I'm into it. Sir John Card in the chat says, "What if they gave you Diablo in Diablo 4?" He doesn't mean like Diablo 1.
Yeah. Now hold on, you guys. You know what? We did find some things.
Do they have
would
the
get me to log
technology
into
for that?
Diablo Immortal.
Do they even have the technology for that, guys?
I don't
If
know.
they put Diablo in Diablo 4, they put Deckard Cain in there. If they found fun and whimsy somewhere, not Whimsy Shire, although I would take that too.
Sure.
But something to like color, maybe.
You
Like,
want some color in your game?
Some color in Diablo 4. I would log in.
I did what you suggested. I turned on that shiny armor, better to see stuff mode in Diablo 4, and it does make a huge difference, especially on Steam
better,
Deck.
right?
It's better.
Like,
I have to admit, it's better. I can't lie. It's not that it's. I thought it would be annoying, like it would be almost like highlights or something, and it would be like just all this UI is taking me out of the game. It doesn't actually do that. It's really subtle and good. It's just there's light in the rooms, sort of. Like I'm seeing the bone. The bone is reflecting more light off a skeleton. My character's armor is reflecting more light, and doing it natural way, so it doesn't take me out of the game. If anything, it immerses me more because I'm getting some contrast in there. Contrast. What's wrong with my brain? For real, it's broken today.
I don't know. You were sick yesterday. Anybody
It's the weird sauce.
Anybody that doubts it is now seeing it live. They're like, well, he was like this after Furiosa, so he must be like this after pooping as well.
I got a real run going here. Speaking of runs, anyway, well, we'll see. That movie
Rivals looks cool.
It looks pretty. I just the familiarity of that map really takes me out of it.
Have you seen the Doctor Strange portals?
No.
Because you're always like, what does the game do that's new? So, because I was watching something, was like, oh, you got to see Doctor Strange, and I'm like, Symmetra has portals, but the way they do portals in this, it's portals, like Valve portals, where
right?
You can see through the portal and shoot at each other, and it renders the game through the portal.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
You can do moves through the portal, like a proper ass portal, and I was like, okay. We're pushing things like that's a mechanic. It's an implementation. Like Genji deflecting was a big deal when Overwatch first came out.
Yeah.
You can deflect anything. It's like, yeah, whoa. And they've even talked about how Genji's annoying because every time they put a new hero in, they also have to update Genji because he has to be able to deflect all the new projectiles they're adding.
Yeah.
So this is the Genji of Rivals, which is like a whole ass portal that you can shoot people through. Not the newest thing, because there was that shooter that did that. What was that shooter called? There was a portal, like a portal shooter. I can't remember what it's called.
It's on Steam. I actually have it. It's it was a combination.
So
it felt like Halo and Portal had a baby, kind of. It was
not like the newest thing, but it's interesting in that team. You know,
Slipgate. That's the name.
Slipgate. That's it.
Yeah.
But they had very straightforward weaponry in that game. It was just a frag fest, that more or less. So I don't know. The portal thing also very interesting mechanic. I definitely want to. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, if I did get in there, I'm gonna want to play Doctor Strange, set up some sick portals.
Yeah, you are.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it looks all right. I'm gonna eat a lot of crow if this is good, and I'd be happy to.
If I end up playing it.
Yeah, if John plays it
about it for one.
Oh yeah,
a bunch of people. You were done with hero shooters, but then I'm gonna be a nightmare for all my friends because I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna play Spider-Man. Nope, Spider-Man's taken, and then it's just gonna say John has left the game.
John left the game.
What about Wolverine? They haven't announced Wolverine yet.
No, but he'll be in there. They're doing all the X-Men, so
I guess I have Venom to fall back to. I like Spider-Man. I like Venom. So there's at least two characters I'll play as.
If I can grab stuff, okay, two things sell me on it. If I can pull metal objects out of the rubble and fire them at people with Magneto, that's one thing I'll like. If also I can buy a voice pack that includes this X-Chicken, and they have that as a sellable thing, I will give them money for X-Chicken.
I want to play Professor X in a wheelchair, just popping everyone's heads. Like, isn't it game over with Professor X?
That's a good point. How do they, like you have to do with the the
want,
Injustice
like,
games. Yeah, you have to come up with a conceit why
They
he
better
can't.
not do a Professor X who can stand and walk and stuff. I want Professor X in his chair, man, just zooming around.
Well, maybe he's not in it. Maybe he's they do like 97 where he's not around anymore. It's not a spoiler, I don't think, is it? Is that a spoiler?
No,
Okay.
no.
All right. I'm just making sure. I don't want to piss anyone off.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot
I
of
almost
fun.
further clarified. That would have been a spoiler.
Yeah.
I guess I did. Spoilers.
Jerry says that's 30-year-old info. Okay, good. Well, no, not the stuff that happened back in 1997. I mean, this new series. Oh, I guess that's true. It ended.
It ended.
Okay. Never mind then. I'm just saying they have to sometimes do a conceit. If you're going to have Superman in your fighting game, you got to make it so that you can win and beat him, right? So you have to come up with some.
And then the suck begins. 'Cause then everybody's
Then it gets weird.
not the hero. They're not the hero they're supposed to be, and
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know.
Let me know, Professor X. Too toxic.
He'll wear just the dumb helmet and float like you.
I just want.
He'll be the payload. You gotta push Professor X back in.
I want him to be the payload. Oh, you just sold me on the game if they did that.
He's just sitting on it like this, and like
Yeah.
anytime the other team switches, he's like, "To me, red team. To me, blue team."
Dude, I would shit myself if they
Moving
made that
back and
happen.
forth.
Bo, that's
God.
that is the single greatest suggestion you've made on Core. That was amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. They're also talked about God of War Ragnarok PC. This is coming to PC. It will require a PSN login, by the way. I don't know if you guys heard that part.
Oh no, Ryan!
Freak out, everybody!
Gamer.
No! I don't want to sign up for your console service.
A little
Yeah.
weird for a single player game, though, right?
Well, it is.
I mean, I'm not saying we all need to riot again.
No, it is
I've made it
stupid.
clear why the riot was okay last time, but
Right.
it is a little weird for a single player game. Right?
It is.
It is stupid, but it's not like the only one. This is like the 150th time I'll have to log in for a single player game. You know what I mean? Like Ubisoft, I got to log in for everything. It's just
I missed this game. Its first. Well, I played
given
the first
choice,
game.
Yes, I would rather not log in. Thanks.
I played that first game on PlayStation, but I've not played the second one at all. So I think if I am going to play it, I will play it on PC. The question is, do I want to? Ooh, super ultra wide support, John. You don't have that monitor anymore.
I'm gonna say something that's maybe gonna make me sound a little elitist, but it seemed weird that at this big Sony event, they're like, "Hey, here's God of War coming out on PC. Here's all the reasons why the PC version's better than the PlayStation."
Yeah, they got big old stuff like widescreen support, unlocked frame rates, DLLS.
Frame rate.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't think about that at all. It's one thing if this was like some third-party game where they're touting a bunch of specs or whatever about the PC version of it, but this is Sony. This is a #1 Sony first-party AAA title, and they are like extolling the virtues of PC.
They're like, guys, you were gonna have such a better experience on this than you did on our console back in the day. Wow.
DLSS, DLSS, DLLSS. What is the thing? What's the
DLSS.
All right.
DLSS.
They say I said DLLS. I don't think I did.
Oh,
DSL. LSSL.
DSL is slow internet. Anyway, yeah, this I might actually finally get around to playing this. I do not give a shit about the PSN thing, and lots of other things make me sign into stuff. So if that war continues, fine, whatever.
I mean, I'm sure it will for some people, because some people get mad about everything. But I don't think this one's gonna be a big. There's not going to be a big to-do about this one because they're saying it up front.
Yeah.
It's a choice. If you want to be Sisyphus and push that boulder up the hill, then the boulder's available to you. Go for it. But,
Yeah.
well,
the other thing is like if they this isn't a conspiracy, okay, but maybe they felt like they got it all out of their system with the Helldivers mess. And now no one will care. We've all been whittled down to not caring, and desensitized to the idea of it. But on the other hand, I'm like, the game I played the most this week that we'll talk about in our games played today was a game that made me log into a second thing, and it was fine. I didn't hate it. Anyway, we'll get to it.
Well, again, that to me isn't the issue. I
No.
think for a lot of reasonable people, that wasn't the issue.
No,
But
it wasn't the issue for
The
me
world
either.
is full of a lot of unreasonable people.
Yeah, not letting people buy the thing or have it after they like. There was a whole bunch of other issues I had with that. The one thing of having them sign up was not a big deal. I thought. Let's move on to Dynasty Warriors Origins. I am not a Dynasty Warriors fan, so this is, to me, not a big deal.
It's just funny how many trailers of that game I've seen over my lifetime and still not played one.
Yeah, I'm same. I see one at every event, and I don't ever play these. They just look like button
Dynasty
mashers.
Warriors 2
Yeah.
when it came out on the PS2. And I was like, oh my god, gaming will never be better than this.
Yeah.
And then they kept making them, and I didn't keep playing them. I did play the Dragon Quest one, which was pretty cool. I liked the Dragon Quest version of this quite a bit. I don't know. I'm happy to live in a world where Dynasty Warriors exists. Sometimes it is just fun to get into a video game and be surrounded by an absolutely insane amount of enemies and just power fantasy beat them all up.
Well, it's like Vampire Survivors, kind of, right? Except
like
that's a good way of putting it. I don't know.
2 weekends, not one.
Now you're selling me on it. Maybe I should try one of these games.
I think it's cool. I think the problem is people treat it like, well, it's not Metal Gear Solid.
Well, what is, right?
It's not a real Legend of Zelda. Like, I think it's not supposed to be. Like, you're supposed to go in there and watch armies run up a hill and go, I will be the one that stops them. And then you go up there and it's like, hey, you murked 457 people. And you're like, it was a light day for me, but we achieved victory on the field of battle. Like, that's what Dynasty Warriors is, and it's fun. It's just when you talk about, and I know this isn't the favorite term around here, but when you talk about the power fantasy in a video game of like, I want to be that character in an action movie that, goes up against an entire army and is still left standing. Like, that's what it is. It's not a great work of art, but it's fun. It does exactly what it needs to do quite well, and I might play it.
Is it?
I don't know if I would pay $70 for it.
Is it button mashy? Like, do you feel like you're?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Yeah. I don't mind a good button mash here and there.
It's not there to redefine the genre. It's like, yeah. It's video game hot dogs. Absolutely.
Oh, I love that. So, okay, but I guess what I'm asking is there any? It's not like a Souls-like with tons of enemies. I mean, you're not having to like parry exactly right, or you build up meters. Right.
You were there to beat up thousands of people.
Right. I assume they're ultimate type things. You build up a meter, you fire that off.
Yeah, and it's flashy. Lasers come out of your sword. You slam down, it shakes the earth. Like,
I mean, they give me some cool like progression mechanics on how I spec out my dude and get stronger and apply points and things. They do that.
It's basically Diablo.
Yeah.
Do the Dragon Quest one, or do the Zelda one if you want to do one on Switch. Like, I think like you'd have fun with it. Like, it's again, it's a simpler time in gaming. It's not trying to appeal to modern sensibilities where games have to be like something that they're not. Like, you get in there and you beat up a bunch of people.
Friend of the program, Mark Spagnolo, who listens to the show, he, if I remember this right, Mark, you can text me and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think he is like a diehard Dynasty Warriors fan. So this is probably amazing news for him. He's stoked.
Yeah.
So I'm glad for him and anyone else who's excited. And you know what? You kind of sold me a little bit.
The bit rate for the stream couldn't keep up with how many people were on there, and like, that's great. That's exactly
what you want.
Yeah.
Doesn't bode well for streaming your game, like
no.
through.
Not gonna be a good streaming experience for sure.
Yeah.
But
get all that artifacting. It's like the first act of Red Dead Redemption 2 is such a bad. It's just bad to stream. Period. Like, even if you're just playing it on Twitch, it looks like shit. Because all that artifacting just kicks in with all that snow blowing. It's really bad.
That was all of Final Fantasy 16. Like, I'm kind of sad that like, I played through it, but I was like, boy, I should have found a way to local record this, because this looks like unwatchable garbage for most of it.
There's no great way to. I mean, you can 1-to-1 it, but you've got gigantic files. Like, it's just bad. What else? Infinity Nikki. It's written. You guys wrote down anime girl snap. Now I missed this one entirely.
I wasn't gonna remember what this was. So
What do we got here? Tell me, describe. Oh gosh, I'm now seeing the video. Okay, describe what we've got.
You know Pokemon Snap?
Yeah, I'm familiar. It's like photo.
I don't know what kind of game this is, but there were anime girls and cute little creatures running around, and every now and then it would do a shutter like somebody was taking pictures, and outfits were changing.
Yeah. And there's like oh gosh, and they got a camera. Okay.
Yeah, there's a camera. So because I didn't get enough information, don't consider this factual. Here's my prediction on what this video game is.
Yeah.
You explore a world, and using various lures and incentives, you throw them out into the wild so that you can take pictures of roaming anime girls.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
You think that's what this is?
Yeah.
Okay, so if there aren't infinite number of Nickies, no sale. Forget it, Sony. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, if it stops at 9,999 Nickies.
Yeah, if you've got finite,
we're gonna know it.
Yeah, if I find finite Nickies in your infinite Nicky game, F off. I mean, it's pretty. I don't know who this is for. Maybe this is for kids. But you know what? I really like Pokemon Snap. Big fan. I like that game.
I just don't know what we're doing it. Sometimes there's fighting. There did look like there's fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks weird. Play has no limits. That's right, Sony. How about the Hodor simulator called Ballad of Antara?
I had to write something so I'd remember what this game was, and it's because a guy was carrying a guy on his back. He was carrying a kid. There's a kid on the back.
Sweet. So it's probably a little more than that. This is the same developer that's doing the Infinite Nicky, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, they need to get better at saying what their games are in their trailers, because I'm not. This one, actually, I think this one might be. No, that's where wins meet. I was going to say, this looks like this might be a Souls-like. But I think that's where wins meet, which is coming up. I don't know what this is.
He's definitely got a kid on his back. And
there's definitely a child.
This is where the infinite Nickies go to die. All the Nickies that you kill are all in this land. Oh, this is actually very pretty, but it looks Souls-like.
I'll be honest, Scott. I was going to prune some stuff from this list before the
Infinite Nicky might have been on that list. Sounds like. Or
Ballad
of
Antara might have gotten cut from the discussion.
Bo, were you interested at all in either of these PS2 VR things?
Oh yeah, for sure. I've been looking forward to finally seeing some footage of Behemoth.
Yeah, it looks neat. My only big issue with this is they only talked about two games, and that doesn't seem like a great lineup for your premier VR expensive headset.
Behemoth is a big one because it's by the Walking Dead guys, and the Walking Dead game is really good. Like it's a very good package. Also very good. Like the zombie killing is in it very good because like when you would hit the zombie, like you would like your knife gets stuck in the skull and you gotta push it in. And most like VR game, like some of this tactile stuff you don't really think about when you're playing a game. Those developers really thought about. So if you watch this trailer, it doesn't really focus too much on the behemoths. They're there, but I assume it's going to be like that Last Guardian or whatever. You got to climb up them a whole bunch, which they didn't really get into.
Yeah,
the behemoths look awesome, but mainly it showed the hand-to-hand combat. And see, like even just clanking your weapons together, it's got to feel good. The gameplay looks solid. It looks like you can push people off hills, you can pull them. I'm actually legit stoked for this game, and the behemoths look amazing. I just hope there's no giant spider. Yeah. That's the only thing. I just keep the spiders out of this goddamn game. This is like a for sure. Like, look, you punch a guy's head off.
Yeah,
that looks awesome. So, and you can catch the arrows thrown at you and shoot them back. Like, I don't know. There's a lot I love about this. The only thing they messed up on with this trailer is obviously the frame rate's pretty low, and a lot of people clued in on that. And frame rates are always very high on VR outings. It's like a requirement.
They have to be
standards. So I really wish they'd get their shit together when they're doing marketing and not do low frame rate trailers. There's no real excuse for it, honestly. So that aside, it looks amazing. I'm excited for Behemoth. This is gonna be this is one I'm really looking forward to. The Alien game, they showed very little, but what they showed was 5 frames a second.
Oh, quick. Sorry.
like,
One
and-
thing I forgot to mention. This is not just PlayStation VR. Behemoth is also coming to MetaQuest
It's a
line
PC
and Steam
game.
VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be playing it on Quest. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
100%. This is like one of my most anticipated games, and it looks cool so far. What I saw.
All right. Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, the Alien stuff they showed very little. What they showed was like 2 frames a second. Like it was so bad. It looked cool. It looked like Alien. They had an alien in your face, and you're like holding the alien, going like trying to get the alien off you. It looks cool, but 2 frames, man. And I know the game's probably not going to be like that. The alien thing, I don't know. We'll see.
It's called Alien Rogue
Incursion.
Incursion. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does look. It's very little, but what is there looks badass. Like Scott, you'll die if you play this. You can't play this.
Yeah, this would be pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean these head crabs are basically spiders anyway. I don't know if you're gonna play this.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I might die. Like head crabs are pretty bad in Half-Life Alyx. Like when because the Half-Life head crabs, they jump at you.
Yeah.
And when they jump at you in 3D, your body responds in ways that it doesn't respond normally. Like the fight or flight like is real. You're just like, holy shit! Like you swat the air in front of you. Like don't jump at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. But Behemoth, the Behemoth game, please no spiders. If anyone from Skydance is watching, please just have a turn spiders off option if you can't help but put spiders in your damn medieval game.
How do I know
Please.
that name, Skydance? Why do I know that dev name more than I? What am I? Who am I thinking of? It's something.
Well, Skydance did the Walking Dead stuff, but is it because it's like
Sundance, maybe? Let's see.
Isn't it
no,
a
they do
film
movies and
studio,
stuff.
too?
It's a film studio.
Oh, maybe that's
Yeah.
why. That's just really familiar to me, and I wasn't sure. Oh, Skydance Media.
They do films and games. So Skydance does Mission Impossible,
Oh, right, animation.
Family Plan,
They did.
Transformers: Rise of the something or other.
Yeah, they did that. That cool. Oh, their website's
Yeah.
terrible. Well, anyway,
Their website.
it's just it's making me wait for everything because it's
Oh,
all
they're
animated.
doing apparently the new Captain America game, 1943 Rise of Hydra as well.
Oh, well, that looked pretty good
Interesting.
last time we saw that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Behemoth, like their VR games are solid. Like the only thing I don't like about the Walking Dead games is they choose nothing looks like realistic. Like they choose like the Telltale game style zombie. So you're in VR, but everything looks a little cartoony. Which is fine. The mechanics are good, but
Yeah.
this looks a little more realistic. So I like this better.
Interesting. Where Winds Meet, martial arts game. Quick look
Yeah.
at this. It looks pretty. It looks nice. It looks like it's
kind of Souls-like, maybe.
Souls-like, or maybe even kind of Bushido Blade. You remember that game way back in the day? It was like a PlayStation 1 era thing. Bushido Blade was cool. It was but it was more like a fighting game with one-hit kills. This seems more like you're out in a world and doing open world shit and that sort of thing. So it looks all right.
There seems to be a lot of these, and they all blend together.
Yeah, they all kind of look the same. Also, speaking of frame rates that are weird, that game's choppy. Let's see. We know about the Until Dawn remaster. That's getting a same-day PC release. Also requires a PSN login, by the way. Path of Exile 2 will be cross everything, so everyone everywhere can play together.
Yeah, couch co-op, cross-play, cross-progression.
Yep.
Cross everything. Cross your fingers.
Cross your fingers, everyone.
Cross fingers. Wow.
Path of Exile. I have friends who are really excited about 2, some family as well. Nothing I've seen though. I mean, I'm curious about what's going on, but none of it's like jumping at me. I wish I could say it did.
I think for me, the thing that's most intriguing about Path of Exile 2 is getting into Path of Exile 1 seems a little daunting. I don't know how much of that is true, but as somebody that's not like a fan of the genre, like I like games that fall into the ARPG category. I wouldn't call myself a genre fan.
Right.
Path of Exile 1 is a little daunting to me. So getting in on the ground floor of something before everything is, a guide and, pages of reading and all of that, like when everybody's still kind of figuring it out, that part appeals to me. So maybe.
Think you'll grab it day one when it hits? It'll be free to play, so why not,
Yeah.
John?
Yeah.
Maybe John
Combat looks like it'll be an improvement over the first.
First one's a little stiff in that regard, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but people like
they've
that.
massaged it over the years, but I think that was what sounded interesting about the game is, what the studio has done for the benefit of a decade maybe of Path of Exile 1 to bring to a new product. Is let's see what they've made. I'm interested.
Yeah. How about Silent Hill 2 remake? John wrote here, I'll probably watch Scott play this at some point. Maybe.
It looks exactly like a game that I will watch you play. That's what it looks like.
Silent Hill
I
and
watched this and I was like, I'm going to watch Scott play this one day.
The problem with Silent Hill, the original and even the ugly, boring, not boring, but the PS1 game, which shouldn't scare anyone really, it still has its claws in me all these years later. The game scared the shit out of me. More than Resident Evil ever has, except maybe 7. So 2, I barely have a memory of 2 because I played a bit of it and gave up because it was too scary back in the day, PS2 days. So this is a terrifying idea.
So someone buy it for Scott and I will watch him play it.
Shit. Is this coming to PC
looks really
day and date?
Freaky.
It does, right? I mean, they should. It's Silent Hill. It better be freaky. But I think is this a day and date PC release? Do we know?
I don't know. They actually didn't do a very good job of identifying that. I thought, I started writing it because I was like, oh, good, they're letting us know. And then there were games that I knew were day and date that they didn't include it on their graphic. So they were not crystal clear about it in all cases.
Holy shit. Did you see that thing that just scurried under the bus? F this.
Yeah.
So somebody buy it for Scott, pre-order it for Scott. Get it in his library right away, and he said he will play it.
That is my rule, but I'm starting to question if I ought to have a.
We should have shown him the scurry part.
Because look at this, this. What's that thing called? Pyramid Head.
Steam, Silent Hill. Oh no, wait, yeah, Silent Hill 2, 8th of October, 2024. So the pre-order is on Steam right now.
There you go.
Unreal Engine.
And listen, if you get the digital deluxe version, you can get advanced access and start playing 2 days ahead.
No, I don't need that one. I'm good. I don't need that one. October? They really want to have this happen during the month of scary shit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
We also got to play Cyberpunk at some point. We need to
I got to
out
finish
when that's
that
happening.
save. It's so funny because I've played around that save a bunch. I've cleared out tons of old city stuff and just doing extra little side quests and doing all the freak, what are they called? Not speed freaks. Whatever they are. The guys that you find in the open world and you just kill. Whatever. I've done a bunch of that and I just got that save right there. Me and Idris Elba trying to make a choice.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get around to it. Okay. Monster Hunter Wilds. We knew this was already coming. I think this is coming to everything. But they showed some of that off. And
I think that game's going to do quite well. The last Monster Hunter saw a huge boom in popularity.
Oh, yeah.
So I think a lot of people interested in that. I always say this will be the one that I get into it, and it has yet to happen, so we'll see.
I do the exact same thing every time. I even have the last one, played a bunch, and still don't know. There's days where I'm like, oh, I got to get back to that. And then there are days I'm like, I don't want to play this. I can't explain it. That series is weird. That series and its history with me is weird. Finally, they took the free thing and are now making a real game, Astrobot, and it's literally just called Astrobot.
Yep.
Prior to this, if you had a PS5, I don't know, I assume this is still true, but this is included on the drive when you get it, or the older game was, and it was like a showcase of how the controller worked and the DualSense stuff and all that, and it turned out to be like way better than just a demo. People were like, "Wow, it's like almost a real game." Like, I would pay $30 for this game, sort of thing.
Now you get to
spend real money on on their hot new mascot, I guess, in a weird way. It does still look like they're really pushing the whole hey, our controllers are crazy. Check it out.
So I don't want to sound too jaded about this. I'm excited about this game. I love the Astrobot game.
It was great.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's one of my favorite things I've played on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
But I do think that there was something to be said that from this state of play, it felt like the thing that most people were excited for and that was the most whoa, was the thing that is essentially a walking advertisement for Sony.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I'm not. I like a 3D platformer. I'm a fan. And this is beautiful. It looks nice and looks crazy, and I don't know. Looks like the best parts of things I like about Mario, modern Mario games, and
I mean, it looks really crazy, though.
it really does.
Yeah.
It looks awesome, but I'm with you. It feels like a ad. I don't know, dude. I don't know how to take it.
Like, it's supposed to feel like a celebration, right? Like, this is a celebration of all things PlayStation. You know, get in there and see the cool versions of the weird robot versions of all your favorite games. And, you know, look at we turned the PlayStation into a spaceship and stuff like that. And like, that's part of the whimsical nature that made the whole experience so great. But at the same time, we are still talking about a walking advertisement for Sony.
Yeah, it's like, remember Cool Spot, the 7-Up game?
Yeah, it's the same thing as that.
Yeah, and it was a good game. Like, that was a well-made, awesome game, but you could never get away from the idea that you were playing an advertisement. And there was a bunch of those for a while. Sneak King is a really great example of...
The 7-Up and the Cheetos game are two of the first video games I ever beat.
Yeah. Yeah. And they
You
were
had to
and they were
repair
okay.
Chester Cheetah's motorcycle.
Yeah, and they were okay. There's a McDonald's game on the SNES that was okay. It's not that you can't do it. It's just something funky about playing a game that, like, I would say that if Microsoft had a game that was all about flying around on a Series X or whatever, I'd say the same thing. It's just weird.
No, it's cringy for sure.
But,
it's just,
yeah.
it looks really cool. Like they could have taken some time to develop their own Mario and then put them in the game they made. Or like, did it have to be this, right? But
I think they
don't
stopped.
know.
They stopped chasing that wild pig a long time ago. They were, remember in
Yeah,
the
they
early
were big
days.
on that for a while.
Yeah, it was always
mean,
about
there's-
mascots
yeah.
and stuff.
Here's Crash Bandicoot, our new mascot. Whoops, here's Kratos, our new mascot. Whoops, here's Parappa the Rapper, our new mascot. Whoops, like here's
need a new
Sackboy,
Parappa
our new
game, by the
mascot.
way.
Oops.
Yeah,
We need
Sackboy
a new
felt like
Parappa.
Sackboy felt like their best chance. I thought, but then
Scott, you're turning into the people.
did I do that again? I started pinching
You're
my
gonna
nipples.
you're gonna get another gif of yourself.
Oh,
mate. You
shit.
gotta be careful.
I watched.
Sensitive nipples
By the
today?
way, I got a little something to share. So I saw Furiosa last week, and it's not spoilers, everybody, at all. But I went and came home and immediately watched Fury Road again because that felt right to do. And I really enjoyed that process because that movie is it did an amazing thing where it made Fury Road feel like the sixth act of a larger film. It was really cool. Anyway, watched it and I realized something. People Eater in Fury Road only touches that weird nipple of his maybe twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
In this other thing, he is
made-
working it, just
He made up for lost time.
cranking
like-
it.
The entire scene.
Yeah, it's really weird. Anyway, there's your look at Sony's State of Play. And like you said, did we get actual dates on the Summerfest? When is this thing? Hold on, dates.
I saw Day 9's going to be doing the gamer show with Mika Burton and the other person.
PC Gamer? That one?
Yeah, but I don't remember the date. But yeah, it's definitely happening.
Here it
June
is.
9th.
happening.
Summer
9th.
Games Fest is June 9th.
Okay, so that's next week.
Yeah.
Like Bo said. So we're talking, let's see here. When's the 9th compared to our show? Okay, so it'll be a Sunday. I think we should find a way to...
Oh, wait, no, that's the PC gaming show. I think it's a Friday for the...
Is it the 7th?
I think the main thing is on a Friday. Yeah, it's 7th.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was going to say, there was a part of me that was like, should we do something with our show date? Should we push to Friday again?
Do it again?
but,
One more
but this
time?
time we tell people in advance.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's, it's the 7th.
Because that'll be a lot of stuff fresh that day. We might actually want to do that. Now that you say that. Crap. We may
Or
have to do
even
that.
just talk over it and let that be the show for that week.
Oh, that's true. We've done that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be all right. Okay. The other thing I was going to say was when is Microsoft's next thing? What do they call it? Shit. Whatever that is. We got to get our dates figured out. We're not going to do that on the air, but we'll figure it out. Also, to everybody who said, Scott, you guys going to talk about X Defiant today? I downloaded it. I haven't installed it yet, but I'm hearing good things that this might be Ubisoft's best release in years. I don't know. I'm just saying, X Defiant. You guys going to try it out?
What's X Defiant?
You've
I
not
don't
heard of
know what
this?
it is.
Oh my
No.
lord! All right, so
Yeah, what the hell is X Defiant?
so they've been testing it for a while. It's an ex Call of Duty, one of the original founders of like the Call of Duty franchise. He's now over there. This is his game. It looks a lot.
He's like he's an expat from Treyarch or one of those places.
Yeah, and somebody told me that if you had to tell you what it felt like, because it's a big free to play shooter thing, it feels like
I'm out.
Call of Duty. What's the second one called? Modern Warfare 2. The original Modern Warfare 2 is the vibe they're getting, and people like it. John is out because it's free to play. He's not.
It costs too much. It's free.
It's free. You can't play a free game.
I mean, we'll play Fortnite, but not X Defiant.
But I like these progression modes I've heard about. I think there's some interesting stuff here. I do want to play it. I downloaded it. I haven't installed it yet, but I will. So, and you can play it for free.
It's just like it's Army Men, basically.
Kind of. It's
Call of
another.
Duty.
Yeah, it's to compete with Call of Duty. Although there's some sci-fi stuff. If you scroll down, you see like there's like a walker robot and. You know,
It's
But it's
got
meant to have a foot in that.
factions that are like all based on Ubisoft properties. Is that what I'm seeing here?
you got
Well, there's
Libertad.
DedSec,
yeah, they
which
got
is like-
DedSec and Echelon, right? Like,
Oh wow, yeah. Cleaners, Echelon, Phantoms, and then Libertad. Libertad sounds like Far Cry, right? Echelon is
Yeah,
clearly
yes.
Sam Fisher shit. Yeah, so I think this is like their. I don't. It's not like Smash Brothers, but it's like their. Let's take all our Ubisoft. Like I wouldn't be.
end game.
Yeah, well, like it wouldn't be surprising to see Ezio jump out of something or whatever.
Oh yeah, there'll probably be Assassin's Creed skins for sure.
Yeah, why aren't there assassins and Templars?
It's coming. It's coming. It's
Coming.
coming. Beta, man.
Just came out. Anyway, I want to check it out, so we'll see what we think.
All right. Well,
Some people like it.
you-
I've heard
you
good
like
things.
it.
There it is. Xbox Showcase June 9th, same day as the PC Gaming Show. It's a big weekend, y'all.
Okay, well, I'd rather watch that than the PC gaming show.
Well,
Oh come
yeah.
on! The gaming shows.
Usually,
Cringe is part of the experience.
Consistently bad.
oh, it's usually really bad, isn't it?
I've suffered through enough of those. I continue to feel like I can take a year off.
They may not be at the same time that day. They might be separate.
Oh, are we like hanging out?
I want to if we can.
We might. Yeah.
If we can find ways to do it.
See, it makes it better. They're giving us that they do it. It's a service to us.
That's true. Having John around during a cringy presentation is actually a really fun
it's
sport.
a service to us. They're doing. Let's respect the fact that they're putting themselves out there so that we can crack jokes.
Yeah, we can all have fun at people's expense.
Yeah.
All right, that is it for that. We're going to take a break. When we come back from the break, we are going to do a Dear Martha
Are we?
this week.
This seems early for.
Oh, did I skip every shit?
Well, it's 9.
you
We've been going
skipped
for 2 hours.
every game we played, but we can do a break now. Like, there's no
Oh,
rules.
I know what I did.
I'm down for a break now.
You know what? Let's do it. Let's take our break early. We'll come back, talk about games we played and a few other news stories. We'll just move that up. That's all. It felt
Yeah.
right to me for some reason. Anyway,
because we've been talking
9
for a while.
yeah, we've been on this for a bit. So we're going to go do that. We'll be back in about 5. Chat there at home. Everybody at home, you just won't notice a difference. We'll be just right back. And so I guess all I'd say to you people is stay tuned. All right, I'm going to pause it. I'll see you guys in a second. And turn that
Yeah,
off.
this old road.
This old road. Ooh, Bo got loud, but I think it's because you're... Hold on.
Oh, maybe I moved my mic around a little bit.
Maybe. I can adjust it on my end. Hold on. Okay, say something.
I've turned my volume down, so now I'm speaking regular style.
Oh, you're good now. Yep. All set. Okay, here we go. Let me push it back here. Okay, we're back, everybody. Welcome back. It's time for us to talk about the games that we played. Yes, that's right. Video games. There were some, and I'm going to start this week because that's what I do. Oh, and we have a thing for it. Oh, that's really loud. Let's try a different one. No, that's still... I'm in the wrong tab. Hold
I need
on.
another break now.
Here we go. That was still kind of loud. Anyway, I started the week with a very interesting game that I think I really like. But I have a question for you guys, so I'll get to it.
Okay.
I got the Rogue Prince of Persia. All right? This is the roguelike Prince of Persia side-scrolling game that turns out plays a lot like... what's the one that's like side to side. Everyone loved it. When you were done, it just dropped you like a blob, and then it rolled up to your head, and then you were new again. What's that game called?
What?
Oh, shit.
Hold on, describe it again.
Dead Cells?
Dead Cells. Shit.
Okay.
Dead Cells.
Oh, Bo got it. That's fine.
Damn it.
I know what you're talking about. Yes, your head is...
Yeah.
Your head spits out of a pipe, lands on the body, and then you go.
And then you get up and move again. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is a lot like Dead Cells in a good way. I think it plays a lot like that game does. It has a different feel because there's things like running up a wall. They've taken some ideas from like the old, the Ubisoft 3D PS2 Prince of Persia games where you could run on walls and stuff. You still do it in 2D, but it's kind of this cool extra thing where you can get higher and do some things. It treats the game... has a really cool little story, and it has all of this like looping timeline stuff, and you're not sure why the Huns are attacking the city, and you don't know why you keep starting over when you die. It doesn't make any sense to you. And the people around you always say the same thing. Oh, you're up or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I guess I am. And it's very Groundhog Day, kind of that's part of the story. And it plays really well. Controls are really tight. The runs are fun. It's like Dead Cells in that sometimes you're doing a run and it's all random. Everything's generated on the fly, so it's never the same level. But you'll run into something and there'll be a dude there who wants to talk to you, and he wasn't there the first 4 times you ran through that area. Or later there's a box and you open that box and there's some clue to something. So they have these moments of story like Dead Cells does. So a lot of this stuff very structurally like Dead Cells. What really stuck with me, though, is the soundtrack is one of the most banging, awesome soundtracks.
Oh, yeah?
It's so good, dude. I don't even know I don't know what to compare it to. It's like I went on a whole deep dive about the guy who did it, and I found a bunch of his music. It's all really good, too. But it's like take that kind of Persian style, those guitars and those sitars and like instruments that you're used to hearing in like, games like Assassin's Creed Origins has a lot of that, but just that kind of vibe, but then adding like hip hop beats to it and really cool EDM beats to it. And some of that music is freaking amazing. It's so good. And it really pumps me up every time I play. So I have a feeling I like it more because of the soundtrack than I would if it didn't have it, or if it was just kind of standard.
Okay.
Or whatever, but the music is so much part of the experience. It just somehow matches the frenetic movement of everything. And I really think I like the Rogue Prince of Persia. I say it tentatively because the reviews are kind of not middling, but they're not like as glowing as I feel about it. So I'm kind of questioning myself, like why do I feel like maybe it's, maybe better than other people think it is. And I really think maybe it's this music. It's so good.
The soundtrack's on Spotify if people want to give it a listen.
You should go listen. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music, and Amazon Music. I checked them all.
Wow. Look at you. That's due diligence. Not just checking the one you have, but checking all of them.
Yeah, I want everyone who has whatever they have to get what they want. And it's got the art style is very like Mobius, like I don't know if anyone's familiar with the French comic book artist Mobius, but it's that kind of color schemes, a lot of, I don't know, it's different than just, hey, here's a desert with a bunch of levels in it or whatever, which you might like, John, a lot of color in it.
Yeah, this is a good looking desert.
And he's got abilities that are similar to Dead Cells in that you've got 2 main weapons. Every once in a while you'll find a chest or you'll kill a guy that'll drop better versions of those weapons. So one's a ranged weapon, one is a melee weapon. Some melee weapons are more powerful but slower. Like big tabard-y looking, not tabard, whatever that's called. I can't think of the name of it. Big axes, stuff like that. And then sometimes little daggers that are very quick, but not as powerful per shot or whatever. And there are lots of, even the map is treated like a Metroidvania map, even though I really don't use the map. You just kind of want to go as far as you can go. But you can backtrack if you need to. There are teleportation zones and stuff, like, again, just like Dead Cells, very similar. It's good. I think it's really fun. It's tight. It feels really good control wise. Like the gameplay is really good, but there is something going on. The marriage of the music they've chosen here has really elevated it for me, and I think that might be a big part of why I'm enjoying it so much. So this is out now. I think it's very cool. Oh, also an Ubisoft game that doesn't require a Uplay connection at all.
Oh,
Hey, look at that.
So when companies do that, I think we should say it so that we're always begging for it. We're always complaining when they don't do it. So when they do it, like with Dead Space and EA and stuff, I feel like we should call it out.
Yeah.
And tell them, thanks.
Yeah, good on you.
Yeah.
We don't
Thanks for
use
that.
it for a reason. so-
Exactly. Also perfectly wonderful and cromulent on the Steam Deck, as one might imagine. It plays really well on there. So I spent a lot of time in this game, and I think it's very, very good so far. Your mileage may vary, but I am telling you, even if you don't like side-scrolling roguelikes that play like Dead Cells, maybe you played too much Dead Cells and this is going to be too similar, go seek out that soundtrack because it is good. All right, that's the first game I played a bunch of. I also played a game called Archaeogem. Yeah, that's right, Archaeogem.
Archaeogem?
I think so. I don't know if I'm saying it right, to be honest.
Archaeogem.
Archaeogem? It's like archaeology is the idea. You're kind of playing this like Indiana Jones type dude. So it really is leaning into that archaeology thing. But do you remember the game Celeste that was out a few years ago?
I never played it, but yes, I know
I
it.
remember. Yeah, I know what you speak of.
It was highly regarded by those who played and liked it and whatever. Highly reviewed, still overwhelmingly positive on Steam, did really well everywhere else. It's one of those. And I'd say even it's more like one of those than most others of one of these because it feels like Celeste. It looks a lot like Celeste too. But I think it's got its own vibe and I'm really enjoying it. It's another 2D thing where you're scrolling, lots of pretty colors. There's a real trend with this lately. I've noticed a lot of indie games or smaller games, even the Rogue game I just talked about, they all have these amazing color palettes lately. I don't know what that's about, but someone listens to Core and heard John complain about colors.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, we're not getting it in AAA, so we
No.
gotta get it somewhere.
Got to get it somewhere, so may as well get it in these old pixels. But it is a really well made one of those. It plays like Celeste. It's very precision platforming. You're trying to get really sneaky, hard to do levels and bounce off the wall at the exact right time. It gets harder the longer you go, and there's a lot of puzzle elements. You have a whip, but the whip is only used for certain things, but it is a unique aspect of it and gives it kind of the Indiana Jones vibe I was telling you about. Lots of harrowing moments, lots of immediate, it's like Meat Boy in that you immediately spawn if you die and get to try again.
I love that.
I do
love
too.
that with difficult games.
Yeah, big fan of that as well. So far so good. It's cool. The vibe is real good. The only complaint I have, everything real pretty, plays well, sounds are good and all that. The music, so back to music. The music in this is the most generic ass, we got this off a CD of open source stuff I've ever heard. I don't know what happened here. This is the biggest problem with the game.
So play Archaeogem and
Yeah.
play the Rogue Prince of Persia soundtrack.
Ding.
while you play it.
Ding, you've done it. And it would fit somehow. I don't know. That's funny you say that. That's actually a really good idea. Because the vibe of this game is kind of, it would work with that Persian music. But the gameplay is what matters most, and so far this seems real good. It's reviewing well. I think it plays. It's a great game for quick short bursts where you're like, okay, I'm in the mood for a challenge, and then if you just kind of get fed up with it, it's not a big deal. You can come right back to where you were, and keep trying. It's definitely Meat Boy vibes without the sheer frustration. And there's a little bit of story being told, which reminds me of Celeste. Celeste is also excellent. If you've never played it, it's definitely one to check out. Anyway, it's good. Archaeogem, I think is how you say it. I'm not sure. Available now. Okay, I did another thing. You know that Darkest Dungeons game, the first one we all loved, and 2 came out, and we all sort of just kind of forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
part of
Actually, that's the story of both Darkest Dungeons for me, but yes.
in 1 I played a ton of. 2 I just keep. Well, I bought it on the hell's the damn site, the Epic launcher. Because that's where they had it, and I'm like, well, I really want to play this, but it was so early, and I'm like, well, why am I doing this? I'm not going to play early access that early anyway. I hate early access usually, or I just don't. I'm not a great beta tester. Like, don't hire me for this stuff. And so I just kind of forgot that I had it on Steam this whole time and just hadn't installed it or played it. So I finally the other night decided to fire it up and give it a shot. And man, Darkest Dungeon 2 is rad. All right. I know it's different than 1. You're not in the same dungeon over and over. You're out on the road. It's a little more expansive. There's like almost a 3D element to things now. But I think this is the better game. I really do. And that's going to be controversial. People are going to disagree with me. But I have more fun with this than I did the other. It's still really hard. It's still sometimes punishing as hell, but I also think it's more approachable than the previous game, and as a result, it's just more fun moment to moment to play it. I would recommend it a lot. I think this game is rad, and I feel bad for sleeping on
in
it.
my library. I just haven't started it yet.
I'm in the same boat. I want to as well. As somebody that liked a lot of the periphery around Darkest Dungeon, but didn't find the gameplay the most satisfying, I think I might ultimately really, really click with this one.
Yeah, I think the gameplay, it's less cluttered too. So the battle screens are no longer just like a nightmare of what do I do? It's a lot more succinct about what you can or can't do. The introduction of taverns to rest in are really interesting because there's a bunch of story that can happen, and how your characters evolve is interesting in there. In a lot of ways, it's pulling from Slay the Spire, and that this part you're seeing right now where you're in this carriage. Oh, that's where they tell story. This is something that wasn't in the beta or in the early access, and now it's in the full 1.0 release, and that is all this cool story they tell with that rad narrator. He's back, but also these big, weird, monolithic, almost dreamlike images that you see on a new run. And every time you see that stuff, it's new, and he's like, "We have come to a crossroads in life. Time has been up my butt the whole time." You know, whatever he's saying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, butt time. I know.
Nothing but time.
Like time barf is what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Also, they did a really neat thing visually with the characters. They look like the same style. They are the exact same art style as the first game, but they're actually 3D models. But they don't look like it. They look like hard-edged, inked 2D. You know, they look like they're supposed to look. But they do moves and do things and get zoomed in on sometimes where you can't do it without 3D. And I absolutely love the effect of it. It's so cool.
This weird hybrid. Do you think they've drawn them?
I think they're still based on. I mean, that artist is still at the company, so I assume it's still based on his art. But I think they've done some kind of. I don't even know how they've done it, because there's times where it looks like a 2D thing, and then the camera will flip, and you're like, "Oh shit, he's 3D." It's a really neat effect. Anyway, really fun. I love it. There's so much more to say about it. There's a ton of other stuff. Like now you manage that cart that you drive in, and that cart can have upgrades. So you're always collecting stuff that might help you there. You can lose people and they die permanently. You can hire new people at other taverns. There's all kinds of classes I even have unlocked. I still have kind of the basic crew that I do runs with. Anyway, I think it's very, very good, and I think people really like it if they just give it a shot. If you've heard that it's just such a change from the first one, I don't know. This is what we ask for. We're always demanding these video games do something new, or movies. Like, you're going to just make another sequel? You're just going to make another MCU movie? Like, we complain like all the time about this sort of stuff. So when a dev actually does something new and different with their IP, we should celebrate it. I mean, if it's bad, that's one thing, but it isn't bad. It's just different. And I think this is a cool difference. It's working for me, is what I'm saying. And the turn-based stuff's fun. We like that, don't we here? We're big turn-based fans.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. What else? I played a really fun, this is a very short one. I played a very fun, very seemingly simple on the outside, but lots of depth once you start getting going, puzzle game called Railbound. And when I first saw this on sale, I thought this was something John had told me about, and it wasn't the same game.
Yeah, because I think this falls very neatly into my weird fixation with trains and looking for a train game that doesn't exist.
Yep.
One day someone will make it. I should probably just make it myself.
I know, dude, right? I hate that. There are game types that I just know what I want exactly and no one makes it.
Yeah.
That's annoying. I wish we had a way to force the industry to make what we want.
I'm not good at making games, but I know what I want from a video game.
So at first glance, you might look at this cool little 3D game and go, "What's this, like a tablet game? Is it like a phone game?" You know, because it kind of has it's kind of big features, you know, that sort of thing. But it's not. It's a PC game, and also uses controller if you got it on your Steam Deck. And it is a game where you're trying to connect train cars in the right order. So the early levels are pretty easy. You're just trying to get your one car connected to the engine, and then the engine drives off, and you do the next level and the next level and the next level. Eventually, though, you get like 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars. And then sometimes there's caves and you have limited tracks. You don't have all the tracks in the world to use. So you have to be frugal with how many tracks you're going to use to make it happen. And they start to get freaking devious. Like, holy shit, my brain hurts. I can't play this anymore kind of devious. And then you play it anyway because you just can't stand not getting it. I think that's a hallmark of a good puzzle game. And when you do get it, you feel like a genius. You're just like, oh shit, I got it finally. Like, it feels so good. And then there's like kind of, let me just do one more kind of vibe going on.
Yeah.
It's a cool game. And I got super hooked on it. It's cheap. I want to say it may even be on sale still for less than 10, but it's only 10 normally. And
this looks great.
Yeah.
This still isn't what I'm looking for.
It's not what you're looking
This
for.
looks great.
Yeah, it's not what I'm looking for either. I know what you mean about this train stuff. You and I are on the same page. There's some shit.
On my library?
You have
no, this is different. This is a different game.
Oh, okay.
I don't have it. What was this one called?
Railbound.
Railbound.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good. If what I described sounds fun to people, I think you could do a lot worse than this. It's a great little puzzle game, reviewed really well, and it's cheap. What else can you ask for? Okay, that's it for what I played. Oh, and then the important thing. Sorry, this is.
That's it for what I played, except for the thing that I spent the most time.
Yeah,
with.
easily the most time with. So I'm going to make a bold statement that I'm going to let resonate in the air. Just let it hang. You guys can disagree with me. The whole world can if they want to. But I'm now convinced. I have a feeling John might agree with me, actually. I got back into Assassin's Creed Odyssey kind of hardcore, like way into it. I think that's a better RPG than The Witcher 3. So come at me. Send me your emails, all your hate mail, whatever. I think that's a better game.
Okay.
It controls
Can I hold
better.
Your feet to the fire a little on this.
Go, do it.
Just a little bit. I recently was like, you know what? I want to hear Scott's hot takes on the movie Furiosa.
Yeah.
And that opened up with Scott making another bold statement, which was, why when we talk about liking something, do we feel compelled to compare it to something else?
Shit. You're right. I did it. You're absolutely right. I did it. I did the thing I was decrying last week. I absolutely did the thing. I guess, okay, so I'll just say it this way. I keep trying to go back to Witcher 3. I respect it for the mega monster that it was. We don't have Cyberpunk without it. Its success is important, and I'm excited for whatever 4 brings. But the reason I fall off that game all the time is I don't think it controls particularly well. I don't think combat's that great. And really the best thing going for it is story and side quests and stuff like that.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair critique of The Witcher 3.
Yeah, that's just kind of where I was always at with The Witcher 3. What happens with Assassin's Creed is a lot of times we just go, ooh, Ubisoft, and we just automatically hate. Or we go, and I don't mean we, us, I mean gamers in general. I get this general feeling that we're just anti-Ubisoft all the time. Or that this is a tired franchise, too many Assassin's Creed games. Give us something new, whatever. We are always saying these things, or you hear it a lot. And it's easy to overlook the fact that I think Odyssey is just a singular achievement in that series. It's so good from all of the aspects I just said that are weak in The Witcher. They're strong in Odyssey. It also has great story, great side quests, great characters, great dialogue, all that. This game is still beautiful, and with an unlocked frame rate on a modern PC, it looks insane. And I already am a fan of the series. Unapologetically, I like Assassin's Creed, straight up, even the weak ones. I like it all. But this one really stands out, and it feels like they were going after Witcher-like game. They were aiming for that big, sprawling RPG with this, and Origins to some degree, and certainly Valhalla on the other end. But this one nailed it so perfectly, right in the middle. Everything from the way the talent tree works and how you assign those as abilities and how combat is way more complex as a result. All the stealth tactic stuff are still there. A lot of that was lost with Valhalla, and they did a good job of keeping it well and alive here. And I just don't get tired of it. And the boat shit is really good. It's like having Black Flag back in a way. Black Flag? Yeah. Black Flag, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the one.
There's also a band,
that's it.
right? There's a band called Black Flag. Anyway, I get
Yes.
confused. Anyway, it's an old game. Well, old, 2018 or whatever it was, but I think this game rocks, and it is to the point now where it may be. Every time I come back to it, I feel more and more like it just pushes up my list of one of my favorite games. I love this game.
It is my favorite Assassin's Creed, easily. I love it.
Yeah.
Anybody that says it's too long, I 100% agree. Like anybody that criticizes that, I understand that criticism. I don't mind it because I like that world and the characters so much that it can keep going forever for all I care.
Yeah.
But if you are not as into it as I am, which I don't expect most people to be at that level, I 100% understand the criticism that it's too long. In fact, I still don't know if I've beaten the game because the ending is so quick to be like, and here's a story beat, and now you're right back to sailing and doing adventure, that I'm like, was that the end of the game? Am I still playing? What's going on? So it is long, but man, do I love Odyssey. It walks that perfect line of like, we're going to kind of pretend to be historical, but we got a Minotaur and a Medusa in this world. And like, but also sometimes they kind of switch it up on you. Like the first time, minor spoilers for one of the quests in Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
It's early on. So,
the first time you hear about the Minotaur, you're like, oh, is this game going to do a Minotaur?
Yeah.
And like, they're like, oh, it's taking kids and doing all this bad stuff. Don't go in there. You'll face the Minotaur. And you go in a cave and there's a guy wearing a cow's head going, ooh, ooh, ooh.
No, that was an amazing quest line. It was so good. It was actually funny too. Like actually funny. Made me laugh.
And it's really dumb.
Yeah.
But then they don't just bait and switch you. They do give you a real ass Minotaur, and it's scary later on. So like, they do both. And I absolutely love Odyssey so much. And I've said before, I think Cassandra is one of the best video game characters in the history of video gaming.
Yeah.
I love how fast and loose they play with the Greek, love anybody you find kind of lifestyle. You can sleep with just about everybody in that video game.
Yep.
They don't make a big deal out of it whatsoever. It could be an old lady that is just sad that her husband isn't getting with her enough, and you're like, I'll help you out, lady.
Yeah.
That's not a problem for me. Like it's so good.
It's really
I just
good.
Love it.
And I love maxing out stuff. Like I love the archery line of her skill sets. I love maxing that crap out. I did a lot of range stuff. And there are some really creative skills that they throw in there, and a lot of variety that the previous games, including Origins, which I have fond feelings for, just didn't have. They didn't have the depth in that game that this does. If people have slept on it or just thought, I don't know if it was ever for me, or I haven't played Assassin's Creed since the first, or whatever. This is a special outing, and it's one that I'm not sure they'll ever hit again. What I hope is, so I did some math. The team that did this one is, or combination of teams that did this one, is the same combination of teams, writers, devs, and everything that did this, or that are doing the new one, the Shadows one.
Oh.
Because the way it worked was, there was the Origins team. While that game was being made, other teams were working on and finishing Odyssey, because it came out, remember, it was the very next year. It was just like one after the other.
Yeah, I think that's also part of the reason why people were so critical of the length, because it was like, if you played Origins, which I didn't,
All right.
This was like, oh my gosh, now we're going to do another several 100-hour Assassin's Creed campaign.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, it's a lot. So the one that just happened, so if I do the math right, it goes them, or no, sorry. So if we get to them with Odyssey, the team I want to look at, it's them. Then you have Valhalla, I think is also them. And then they had different teams do this recent one, the Baghdad one. It's a fine game, but it's shorter and a way different focus. It's not this sprawling thing. It's not the RPG that this is. This, I think, means that team, or those collection of teams, will be the ones on Shadows, and that makes me more excited about Shadows than I was before. But also, all this talk about Assassin's Creed is what got me back to playing Odyssey, because I never did finish it, because it's so damn big, all right? It is big.
Yeah.
but I really, really enjoy it. I'm having a ball, and plays great on Steam Deck as well, so I can take it with me. That's it. That's what I played. Lots of games. Let's talk about John and Duck Detective. Tell me more.
Duck Detective: The Secret Salami.
Whoa.
Yeah, give the full name. It's this is known as Duck Detective: The Secret Salami. Is a game that I played this week so that I could say I played something more than my next game.
All right.
But you know what? I played through the entire thing, and I'm gonna just say, I think this game is great. This game is not gonna set the world on fire. The writing is not so over the top that you're like, oh man, what a riveting story. It's not so funny that you're gonna go and tell people it's hilarious. The mystery is not so mind bending that you're like, this will change the way it works.
Yeah.
I want to say more about that, but I would just flat out spoil the game. We'll just say that the mystery is not intense.
Okay.
Nothing about this game excels in any particular area, except that it's incredibly charming. It plays well, and it's not super long. You just kind of go through it. You solve a mystery. You do a thing. You're a cute little duck. You can press a button and he quacks whenever you feel like it. He has an addiction to bread, and they write bread as if it's a drug for him. So the duck detective is, he's on drugs. He's struggling.
Yeah.
And I just had a lot of fun with it. Like, I played to the end of it because I was just like, man, charming. I just want to get in here and do this. You just do deductions. It's spelled exactly how you would think deductions in this game would be spelled.
Oh my gosh. Great.
And you question. It's fully voiced, which is nice. So it's not even a big reedy game. Like, they fully voiced it. The voice acting is really solid in it. And you solve a little mystery, and it's very cute, and it's very easy to play. And
Did you get this on Game Pass, or where'd you play this?
I bought it.
Bought it on Steam? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because
also,
I was like, oh, it's kind of cute.
I think it's on Game Pass. I think. I have to look that up. It looks great. I mean, a little point and click adventure game never hurt nobody.
Yeah, and it's not it's not long. Let me see how much time I actually put into this to beat it. 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
It's a short game.
Yeah, it is short.
It's not here to take up a bunch of your time. It's here to just give you a little quick gameplay experience, and you get in and you play it and you move on with your life. And you know what? If they put out a sequel that's another mystery to solve, I'll buy it and play it.
Nice.
This feels almost like it would be those, old mystery novels where it didn't cost very much. You just got it and read it, and wasn't going to be a massive piece of literature or anything like that. It's just, I just want a fun little mystery to solve, and you do it and move on.
I'm very curious about it. It looks adorable, and I like a good short point and click deal. I'm a fan. Well, nice. This looks great. Look at us doing a little wholesome, little fun clicking. I like the paper. I don't usually. I'm like Bo. I don't normally like the papercraft vibe. There's something about this though. There's like a shadow cast when he's running around.
Looks neat. It looks neat.
Yeah, it looks good, right? Sometimes that stuff bugs me. Oh, did anybody? I didn't grab it, and I meant to. Did anybody grab that DLC for Wildermyth? Yeah,
I did, because I meant to give it an earnest shot. I just got into formatting, but I kind of wanted to dip my toe back in there and give it an earnest try, but I haven't yet. But I did pick up the DLC.
Yet. I forgot that came out. I need to check it out.
I want to check it out too. It seemed like it's doing okay. People like it. So awesome, John. I love that. Let's talk then about your next game that no one's heard of. You talk about before. It's never come up on the show, and brand new.
Yeah.
So
I'm still playing Final Fantasy 14. Everybody. This is going to be the way it is for probably a couple months.
What do you do?
Final Fantasy 14 is a MMO version, the second time that they've done an MMO version of a Final Fantasy game. This one Did not have a great launch, but it had a extremely successful relaunch. Might be the best version, a best case example of relaunching your game after an abysmal start, and has become a much beloved MMO. And it is going to be getting a new expansion at the end of next month, and people are quite excited for it, including myself. I've been getting in and relearning how to play and finishing up any storylines I feel like need to be done before I go into the expansion. And I upgraded. I got, for the first time ever. Now, people have been very critical of how easy it was to do, so this is by no means a boast or a feat. They said it was a little too easy this go around, but for the first time ever, I got my. They do like a legendary weapon quest that kind of goes through the final patches of every expansion.
That's cool.
And I have a fully upgraded weapon, which is really cool because it actually kind of looks like the Heroes of the Storm logo.
Oh.
Like, here, let me share it with you guys. Let me see if you guys think this. Let me find it here real quick, because I did take a screenshot because I was like, I should show the guys this, because this looks like Heroes of the Storm.
Let's take a look.
But
here.
yeah, I'm finding it. I gotta find
No
it.
worries. That's crazy though.
Drive at the moment, but yeah, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14. It continues to just be a fantastic game, and oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. There we go. Open those. Send those to you.
Yeah. Watching for those. Here we go.
There we go. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It even has little hexagons.
I'm sorry. I thought maybe you were like exaggerating, or this was going to be just sort of minorly reminiscent. That's the damn logo, dude.
It does look a lot like, and it has even like the hero hexagons inside the.
Oh, that's funny.
Inside the spiral, which I was like.
Yeah, it kind of does definitely give me Heroes vibe.
Yeah. It looks like he's running around with a little hero's weapon. That's
it felt
amazing.
like it was meant to be.
Yeah, for you especially. This is great. So this is the dancer? What is this weapon for? Who
that's for the dancer.
Okay. And you're a private dancer, a dancer for money, doing what you want to do.
And fame.
Fame.
Notoriety.
Right. I need a hero. No, that's the wrong song. Anyway, that's cool. That looks just like the freaking logo. That makes me laugh. I honestly thought you were just like, I'd be like, oh, I guess it kind of has a resemble to it. It's like, no, that looks like you photoshopped it in there.
It does. It's like I got it and I was like, man, this is really on the nose. I'm really excited about this. I don't know how much the other ones look like it, because a lot of times it's kind of the same style but applied to different weapons. But for the dancer especially, I was like, oh, this is just flat out Heroes of the Storm. This is great.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a last hurrah for the dancer, because I am committed. When that expansion comes out, I am switching my job.
Oh, you're going to do the paint person,
No, well, I'm gonna try it because it does seem cool. I'm gonna be the Viper though.
Oh, the Viper.
You can't go wrong with 2 swords.
No.
And it connects and becomes a sword staff. Man, that's so cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, but you will try at least shitting out all the paint and all the ink and stuff.
Yeah, because that's also cool. Like, I play the dancer. You're not gonna get me on the like, oh, I only play cool, edgy jobs. Like, yes, I played Reaper too, but like, I also played the class that dances you to death. So it's not like I have to just be the coolest, edgiest thing all the time.
Yeah. Chat corrects me. Derek says it's dancer for Gil, Scott. That's true. It's not for money.
Gil.
It's for Gil.
Ah, jeez.
Gil, you old idiot.
It'll be Gil's turn to get rich.
Every time someone says Gil out loud in that game, because they do sometimes, that's who I think of is Gil from The Simpsons. Can't help it. All right.
Well, every time someone's like, we're going to make a lot of Gil from this jump. All right, it's Gil's time. Cha, cha, cha.
Gil's time to shine. Gil rocks. All right. Well, nicely done. Bo, speaking of Heroes of the Storm, you played a bunch. Are you like, platinum and all that shit, or what's going on?
I haven't really been playing in ranked, but, I am good.
I have no doubt that you're good. I know you're good. I've played with you.
But I'm playing a ton. I think a part of it had to do with the reformat. It's been kind of to put it in WoW terms, I had my threat table wiped in terms of games that are demanding my attention. I installed Heroes was first up, and I installed WoW, and I haven't really installed any other games, and so it kind of just got my attention a little bit. Like, oh, I'm just gonna grab a game of Heroes, and then I've been playing nonstop. I think I played like, I don't know, 70 games, maybe 100 games. Like, I don't know. I've played like an absolute shit ton of Heroes of the Storm, and I'm enjoying myself.
I'll bet. Last time I had a hard drive wipe or had to clear everything out, it was weirdly freeing. This feeling of like my choice paralysis that I self-imposed is no longer in front of me. And I think I did something similar. I settled into one or two things for a long time.
Yeah. I just like, it's just a, like obviously we do the show. So if I worked for IGN and they're like, review Kingdom Hearts 4, and I'd be like, I don't feel like it. And you'd be like, well, you can find another job. So I feel a little bit of pressure in that sense because I don't have anything new and exciting to bring to the show this week. But I don't know. I have a Heroes shaped hole in my heart. Maybe Dreamhaven will fill it. Who knows? But I've been really enjoying StarCraft and Heroes of late, and well, I just been doing what is enjoyable.
I think that's great. Do you have any opinion on Varian being a tank now? Even though,
I mean, yeah, he always could go taunt. But I played. So what I've been doing is I've been edging all the characters. Like I go. You can edge them to where they get a loot box. Right? Like
got it.
Yeah, so you edge all the characters. It's not sexual.
No.
So I did play my favorites for a little while, but then I'm like, who's like not getting a lot of love? Who's low in level? And I've been making a point of going through the entire roster, and there's like 100 heroes, right? So I'm playing every single one of them. The Varian game I played was a dual wield Varian, so I like DPS Varian better than tank Varian, but
interesting.
He's a good tank. Taunt is a solid ult.
But he's he's now listed as a tank though. Like he's classified as a tank.
But he's a special case. Like he's like a lot of heroes are special cases. He's one of those special cases where he's both a tank and a bruiser.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You're making me want to play. I haven't had that.
It's fun. It's fun, and I'm not the only one. I saw because Trixler streams on X. He's like, I've just been playing Heroes all week, so I'm not the only one. That patch notes they dropped the other day clearly incited some of us to start playing and picking up the game again. And I've just been having a good time with it, And there's always a game. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm sick of waiting for a game. Like literally, quick match queues pop off.
Yeah.
Now the skill range is wide, and my expectations are high in teammates. So sometimes I get absolute, I don't know. So I'm like, well, I got matched with this guy on my team. Gosh dang it!
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm just having fun, so I don't think too hard about that stuff. You lose, no big deal. Who cares? Like you guys know, I brushed that stuff off my back pretty easily.
Oh yeah, but, you were never like. Yeah.
I only get toxic when other people get toxic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been mostly pretty fun.
Tempting. I feel like I don't have my sea legs for that game right now, but maybe I'll hop in sometime. I own a lot of shit in there. We unlocked all sorts of stuff, bought things.
Yeah. I got tons of stuff. I got my 6.5 banners. It's just been a good time. It's just I feel like it's been the same with StarCraft, where it's just like nobody's really giving a shit about it, all this other stuff. So it's kind of this fun space that only people that are really into it are participating in, and it's like there's this cleanliness to being involved with it. But it's mainly because it's fun. I'm just having a good time, and you know how that one more game thing works. You play a game of Heroes, and you're like, I'll play another one, and I've just kind of been on that. I've been on that like hard, and I've really been. I was really like, no, I'm never playing Heroes again. Like 2 months ago, don't ask me to play Heroes. I'm not playing this game.
Yeah,
and now I'm just
Here you are.
There isn't anything I want to do more currently than play Heroes, which is.
How are your queue times? Are they
nice?
Are they good? Are they
30 as fast as they've ever been? Like no change. Like there's a.
That makes me
community
happy.
of people playing that game. Like that game, it's not.
It's got to be a fair amount if you're never waiting, especially.
I question ranked. I don't know about the other modes. I'm pretty sure ARAM's popping too. I'm sure you get quick queues on the ARAM. So
Yeah.
I would recommend ARAM if you're going to get in there because that's just a quicker game, less intense, less macro strategy. Like you just play a hero and goof around, right? So
yeah.
that might help you get your sea legs back or just get the taste of it. There's
Interesting.
ARAM, but I haven't done the unranked draft or I mean I'm pretty sure there's very few people playing ranked. Like I think if you want to wait 10 minutes for a game, you can go into ranked. But
Yeah.
I haven't gone there yet. Maybe I will. I don't know. Like I really have no plans for the future. I've just been playing the shit out of heroes. So that's
Nice.
I played some Stukov today. Remember Stukov?
Sukov, dude. Oh, he was my. I mained him for months. I loved him.
I hit level 100 on Carl Jim.
Really?
Nice.
Level 100. I mean, I got the maximum taunt emote. It's all crazy and shit.
Dude,
It's
Stukov with
top
that freaking tentacle arm across the map. What?
Oh yeah. He's still got the push hand and the swipey hand. Yeah.
I might play
Tassadar
Heroes.
is pretty great right now. He's gotten a rework. I don't know if you've played the rework, but he's just a full-on mage now. He's
Tassadar. Oh, I love Tassadar too. Yeah. Yeah, don't do this to me.
sorry, but there's something in the water, something in the air. 2024. It's a hero's resurgence here. I can kind of feel it, at least for me, and that's why I was like, Trixler's playing it too, and he's like, this video is literally titled, "I don't know why I'm playing this game."
That's amazing.
It's like, but I'm just playing it, and I'm like, yeah, I really feel that because I feel the exact same way.
Let me before you go to your next thing, I'm going to bust in with some breaking news, John. You'll like this. Godzilla -1 will be dropping worldwide on Netflix tomorrow and is already available in some regions. So,
don't have to buy.
Oh,
yeah. Netflix. They got some deal.
guys, I gotta go. Show's over.
See ya. I gotta go watch.
Let me see if it's on my Netflix queue right now.
Godzilla -1 or -1 rather. Sorry, Bo. On to your next party time. Oh, you played some Fableton. What'd you think of it?
I tried to play something, dude. I played, an hour. Like I'm still in the tutorial. It seems like a so far a light version of Banished. It's like the same thing, but houses people move around. I didn't get to the meat, so I'm listing it here, but it barely counts as anything I can really talk about, except it seems like a banished light. Not a bad thing, but
yeah,
I will maybe play it some more.
You get around to it at some other point. Sure, I understand.
We'll see. It'll join the 152 other games.
Yeah,
and that's what's fun about doing this, because we are a Fulcrum Point. It's a place where we discuss things. It feels like every couple of days someone's like, hey, are you playing this game? Are you playing this game? Are you playing this game? And I'm really trying to sort out my relationship with that. I don't want to be a dick to people, but I have to say no to I can't play every game, and it all looks good except for maybe Concord, but
Oh my god.
Wow. Take that, Concord.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's so mean. Someone might be listening who works there. Is like,
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, our good friend Lashes, Bethany.
Oh,
no!
With Concord.
Oh, no. We're playing Concord, baby. We're doing it. I love Lashes.
I made you feel like a dick.
My work here is done.
I can go to bed peacefully.
That's amazing, dude. I didn't know that. Congrats to her. That's great. New gig.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Listen, it might be a great game. But that's my impression of it. I mean, I wear my shame honestly, I suppose. But
sure, nothing wrong with that.
Doesn't look that compelling. But I love Lashes. It's great. I'm sorry.
She's one of the greatest.
No matter the quality of the game, she's the most quality an employee you can have.
I'm telling you, if you need somebody who's community management oriented in some capacity, she is the best there ever was. She's amazing. Anyway, and we're not just saying that to soften the blow from Bo making fun of the game.
It might be great. Look, if you've been following the show, 50% of the time I say I hate something, I'm playing it and love it to death 2 weeks later. So even Liam O'Brien can confirm that. He did a joke on me.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So take it for what it is.
I was talking to him today about the Mad Max game, or not today, a couple days ago, talking about the Mad Max game, and I'm always just wanting it to have more content. I don't know if you guys saw this, but because he's in it is the reason it came up. But that game had DLC that was done and ready. Did we talk about this last week?
Yeah, you mentioned it. I don't. But yeah,
WB
I don't think
was
you
like
said what he said.
The WB was like, we're not gonna freaking release it. Well, he didn't add anything to that, but it just reminded me of that. And I couldn't remember if I talked about it, but I just whatever that was, Warner Brothers, freaking cough it up. I'm ready.
WB is so weird. Like I've never seen a company stranger than them.
Yeah,
you know
they're
what?
weird.
Like,
they're weird.
So we also mentioned, because I had mentioned that it's weird that there's no Mad Max in the Mad Max season of Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
And somebody pointed out WB. Like, that's almost guaranteed that's why there's no Mad Max in it.
Yeah.
And that's a good point. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a given until you say WB, and then it's like, well, I don't know. Maybe they'll film an entire movie and not release it. Who knows?
Yeah. But it's money on the table. People love that game, and many of them have discovered it late because you did a piss poor job of marketing it. I think if that came out tomorrow and they said, here's all this DLC for $30, you'd have my money immediately.
You talking about multiverses?
No, the Mad Max game that never got its DLC pisses me off. Anyway.
Of course we're talking about Mad Max.
I mean, they made it. It was done. And they didn't give it. They didn't give it to anybody, bastards. Anyway. Sorry, Bo. You also played some sod.
Yeah,
you put some grass down.
Sod. Yeah, I don't have anything new to say about that, but it's just still a thing. Except reinstalling add-ons sucks.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt, right? Do you use an add-on manager? I assume there's still a thing, right?
I do, but I don't sign into an account because I save myself the login. But well, when you format your disk, it doesn't save any of your settings. So I don't even remember all the add-ons I had. It's so annoying.
It is annoying. Well,
and you get kind of the wrong one. You're like, oh, what was I using for unit frames? Oh, not that one. Oh, shit, uninstall. Like, got to find the one I was using. Anyways,
that is a pain.
Yeah.
Well,
not much to report except Heroes of Storm's an awesome game. And I'm sorry, Lashes.
I mean, that's where we met her. Thankfully, Hero, thank goodness Heroes existed. We would have never met her if it wasn't for Hero. So worked out good. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's do a Dear Martha. Now, here's the thing with Dear Martha. I got a message from a listener. This was on, I don't remember where I got this. Threads, maybe. John, I'm going to give you this message and you're going to give us a Dear Martha in response to it.
Okay? Oh, okay.
And Bo kind of alluded to this a little bit already, but I'm going to go ahead and read this. This is from Grecken TV. It was the other day, I guess it was yesterday at 11:40 a.m. He said, why do these games keep piling up that I can't keep up with, getting too much backlog? So it's about backlogs today. So let's hear from the front whoever 92 says about backlogs to his dear wife at home. Let's do that now. Oops, that's not loud.
My dearest Martha, I write to you with a dilemma. You see, I've been fighting for a very, very long time. And I'd very much like to return to our home with our 3 sons and 4 daughters to enjoy the quiet life. But Martha, I don't think that this can happen. You see, every time I think I'm going to finish the fight like Master Chief, something else seems to come along. I can't seem to escape it. Why, just this week, I had to be a duck detective investigating a stolen lunch of salami. And that's not even taking into account that I just randomly decided I'd play a couple games of Heroes of the Storm. And now I have a level 100 Jimmy Reno. How am I supposed to get other things done when This Is Jimmy is only level 99? I've got to get him to 100. That's several more games. And Martha, do you know how long Assassin's Creed Odyssey is? There's a whole damn cult that needs to be taken down. And cults are big, Martha. This isn't one of those small cults that drink a little Kool-Aid and fall over and take care of itself. This is a big cult controlling the entire Greek countryside, Martha. It's a problem. Now I've got other distractions.
It's a problem.
You've got games as a service. You know what I hear? Permanent enlistment, Martha. Permanent enlistment. They're putting DLC characters. Freaking Mortal Kombat just showed Homelander shooting somebody with laser eyes. I've got to play that. I have a love-hate relationship with Homelander, and I need to see that DLC. Also, what's the deal? Is Anthony Starr doing the voice of Homelander or not? Because, like, what's the deal? And come on, Mortal Kombat, hold on.
Yeah.
Martha, please give this letter to Ed Boon, our next-door neighbor. Ed, this is Jimmy. Can you please get the proper voice actors for your video game? If you can't get them, don't put them in your video game. You have no problem letting Sub-Zero be voiced by an esports professional going, "Hi, I'm Sub-Zero." That didn't sound good.
No.
That's not the delivery you want to sell. You got Ronda Rousey voicing Sonya Blade, but you can't get Anthony Starr to come in and be himself as Homelander for a little bit? Ed, what are we doing? What are we doing? Anyway, please give this back to Martha so I can say goodbye and give her my love. Hi, Martha. Anyway, point is I'm not going to be home because we're full of distractions out here. There's too much to deal with. I don't know when I'm going to see you again. I'm frustrated. Yours in this life and the next. Still Jimmy.
Damn, still
100.
Jimmy, 100. So, you didn't mention how Homelander's smelling like lady milk in that trailer. Have you seen that?
There's a lot of milk.
Ugh. That is still, well, whatever. Look, mother's milk is normal, but when he smells it or Rictus tastes it for Immortan Joe or anyone does anything with lady milk that isn't a baby, that's gross. That's all I'm saying. All right? I drink cow's milk. I get it. It's gross no matter what if you think too hard about it. But lady's milk, that belongs to the baby and the mom. That's it. Moving on.
And that's that.
That's
that. Scott wrote a letter of his own.
I did. My dearest Loretta. All right, now this.
That's a good question.
Wrong one. Yeah. Da-da-da-da. This is other news we missed. Black Ops 6 is confirmed for a day one launch on Game Pass and will not be locked behind a new tier as rumored. There is no new tier, and they are not locking it. It will be available. Some people are mad about this. I don't know why. It means more people will be playing the game. I suppose that scares some people. I don't know. But Game Pass will have Black Ops 6 on day one. So will PlayStation, so everyone calm down over there. PlayStation boss reveals why Sony won't release most PS5 games on day-and-date releases. Here's what he says. We have a dual approach here. On the live service side, we are releasing our titles simultaneously, so day and date on PlayStation 5 and PC. That would be like Helldivers. Exactly. But with our tentpole titles, our single-player narrative-driven titles that are the backbone of what PlayStation Studios has delivered in recent years and in our own history, or in our history, he sure went a long way to say that. Anyway, we take a more strategic approach. This is what President Holst, who is now the new co-CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, said. Basically, the roundabout way is like they're still using their exclusive single-player games as a way to tempt you over to their platform, but they will come out later. And then the stuff where they need more people to fill servers, they will do day and date. That's basically that's the reason they're doing it. You know, why wouldn't you? You would day and date your multiplayer stuff because you need the players. You would hold on to your single-player stuff because it's a prestige thing to do. And then later you can put them out.
Because you want to say, buy a PlayStation.
Yeah, none of this is surprising to me.
A
It's just,
year.
yeah, that's basically it. I hope it's less than a year, but we'll see what happens. Probably
The
not.
problem that this has trained me with, though, is because I don't play very much on my PlayStation. We're now looking at the release of God of War Ragnarok coming out on PC soon. We've got an imminent release of Final Fantasy 16 on PC.
Yep.
What it's teaching me is like, oh, I can do this wait no problem.
Yeah.
This isn't as bad a wait as I thought it was.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sony's training me the way they want to train me.
Yeah, this is about what they used to make you wait for movies, big movies back in the 80s and 90s to come out on home video of some sort. It would take
does feel like
eight
that.
months to a year. That's about what video games are at now. Whereas movies are, 30 days later for the most part?
Unless
sometimes.
it's Godzilla -1.
Well, yeah, that one's got...
Out tomorrow, maybe.
Wasn't there...
I've now heard that it's Netflix in non-US regions.
Oh, well, that sucks, a-holes.
But I think you can still buy it. That is what I heard. I think you
Okay.
can still buy it. And I'm going to just tell you all, you won't regret your purchase.
Oh, I want it, so I'm getting it. I'm buying 3 digital releases this year. Guess what they are? These are the only ones I plan on buying.
Mad Max Furiosa, a Mad Max
Odyssey,
saga.
Tale Saga. Yep, that will happen when it happens. What else? One of them I've already bought.
-1 because
yes, I will be getting that.
said you should.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's number 3? I've already bought it.
This will be the one you already bought.
This is the hint, is that I bought it. Yeah.
Is it one of the Planet of the Apes movies?
No, although that might be one too because I really like those movies and I want to see the new one pretty bad.
Saltburn.
No,
I can't pretend like I didn't see chat. Is it Dune?
it's Dune Part 2. Yeah,
Okay, all right.
Dune Part 2 was a no-brainer.
The other desert movie.
Yeah, all these desert movies and TV shows this year, Fallout and everything. Everyone's got deserts. John, I don't know what to tell you about the world right now, but we're all...
They're into it, man.
Yeah.
Like, they're all... Well, it's all the California people moving out to Arizona, and they're like, oh, sand.
Yeah, we got a bunch of that too going on. These California people jacked up our house prices so bad. So
I know.
bad.
But now I'm a homeowner, so I don't care.
Yeah, once you own
I
it...
really abandoned my morals on that. It's like, when I was renting, I'm like, goddamn crime, what's happening out here? And then I became a homeowner, and I'm like, well, this increases the value for us and our
Sure.
future, and
Sure.
this is what a wonderful thing.
Yeah, once you're in it, you have, suddenly you're all supportive of higher prices. The same thing with us. I mean, but the problem is if we wanted to sell, we could sell for a massive profit based on what I paid for the house back in 2013. Massive uptick. The problem is everywhere has a massive uptick. So,
right. So
where
it's
am I
kinda
going?
even.
Yeah, where am I going to go? It's so dumb. It's not like I can go back in time and do this. So, hate it. Where are we here? Oh, your Steam library dies with you. If you pass away, you're going to lose all access. Or no, I'm sorry. You don't lose access to your thing, but nobody else can have it. So you cannot bequeath it to anyone. You cannot put it in your will to say, I would like my daughter to have my entire Steam library. You can do none of that. It dies with you. Now you can give your credentials to somebody and they can log in perpetuity for as long as they want on your account.
Right.
They can't stop that, but you do not have any inherent pass it on to somebody else rights to your Steam library, according to Gabe Newell. People are kind of unhappy about this.
My wife told me about this news story, without getting in the weeds about what this means and all of that. But she told me, she's like, yeah, so there, people were fighting. This was before a determination was made. She's like if you wanted to, if you passed away, bequeath it to one of the kids. And in the back of my mind, I was like, I don't want anybody getting my library again.
You're with them on this.
That shit dies with me. If they want video games, they can earn up money and buy their own video games.
Hey, but if you had physical media, they could keep your physical media.
Bury it with me like a mummy in a tomb.
A Viking?
Yeah, put it on the boat with me and set the boat on fire. Put it over a waterfall.
I think this is still new. They don't have to do it.
I think there's going to be laws eventually.
At some point.
Yeah.
At some point, when this becomes more commonplace, and it's like, listen, we've spent untold tens of thousands of dollars on a library,
mm-hmm.
and you're just going to invalidate it. And I get the argument. I saw this. The argument was, well, a lot of people, hackers and fraudsters will send in fake death certificates trying to take people's accounts.
Yeah.
And there's no money in hiring people to vet this kind of stuff or putting a protocol in place to handle this. So it's easier just to say no death certificates. We have no function until the governments mandate that they have to. And if they want to stay in business, then they've got to do account transfers in this way and step up to security with regards to it. So until somebody forces them to do it, and not just Valve, I mean like Apple,
everybody,
wherever you have a digital locker, it has value, and it's kind of bullshit to lose it to death.
I think Apple and was it Amazon maybe, there are some that their policy is to let you do this. I can't remember who it was.
Maybe.
But they're not
I just
being.
assume none of them do it.
What I would rather see is, like you're saying, like legislate this. It will eventually. It has to. Our lives are too digital now. There's no way we don't have. Well, Beelzebub in the chat says digital inheritance will be a thing. Totally agree. It's coming whether you like it or not.
We've only had digital lockers for 10 to 20 years, right? Like, I guess maybe starting in 2000s. I'm thinking Xbox 360 when you can start buying games in arcade and stuff, and
right.
iPhones were becoming a thing.
Trying
Like,
to-
it's still.
Yeah.
We haven't had people die en masse, and companies just completely, suck up our money and ask people for other money, because usually kids have their own accounts, like John said, to buy your own shit, but it does seem like bullshit to be like, yeah, okay.
No, it
If I-
does, and jokes
They're
aside,
saving
that's
money.
how I really like. Jokes aside, that's how I really feel. I don't know if I want my kids to fight over my Steam library, so maybe that one's better buried with me. But like in general, I do think that this is something that is going to have to be figured out, and that I would be in favor of. But I think Bo's 100% right. Nobody is going to do this until they are obligated to do this, and especially Valve is notoriously hands off on things. Like, if they have a path where it's them doing something versus not doing something, as long as it's not going to look incredibly bad, they will take the path of not doing something.
Yeah.
Like, that's been their stance with AI generated assets in video games and stuff like that. It's what is the easiest policy we don't have to enforce?
Yeah. Yep. I think there's some truth to that. I don't know. It'll be weird. I think we're going to see some stuff, though, and it won't just be game centric. It'll be everything.
If anything, it's a good thing for them, for people to be inheriting digital lockers, because if you don't have one, and then all of a sudden you have an account with 10,000 games, maybe you're going to log in and use it, or give it to some, like it'll get used because you have it.
It keeps you relevant for longer.
Yes, the real thing that they don't want to have ever happen is have it legislated where I could sell it, meaning I could take the value of it and sell it. Because right now I have 2,000 plus games in Steam. It's probably worth a decent amount of money. This thing. A friend of mine just sent me a key. For some reason he bought 2 keys. Sent me a key. Doesn't know 3 hosts or hair. Just kidding. He doesn't. I don't think he listens to Core. But he sent me a key for Homeworld 3 because he heard I was curious about it. And he thinks it's great, and all the reviews are wrong. So I'm going to try it and see what I think. But
could be.
If I have all these games that are 50 here, 60 here, 70 here, 15 here, whatever, and you add all that up, is that like inheriting the equivalent of whatever digital money it is, whatever the value of those things are the day I sell it? They don't want me to do that.
Could you sell it?
Yeah.
No, but that would be I think that's a different use case. Like, I think that's a different protocol for selling versus digital inheritance, right? Like, you'd have to, it's like setting up, they need a staff of client service people to process digital inheritance claims.
Right. Right.
It's a different thing to sell.
It's a really interesting hypothetical, though, isn't it? All
technically, you could still do. You could probably, some people. I don't know how to change personally identifying information, like at the account level.
Yeah. It's interesting because at 15, well, that's true. Like Facebook and Apple, I just looked it up. They both have a way for you to set up something in case you pass. Your stuff goes to someone else. They have access. They log in, all that. But those are, probably.
But it's a matter of transferring the purchase license to another account.
Right.
Like if you still have Grandpa's login, that's one thing, but his stuff should now go to somebody.
Yeah.
And who gets that? They leave it to the people to figure out. But it costs. It's like that they say there's no money in content moderation, right? It's just a loss. It's just a money loser. Like this is also just a money loser.
Right.
They have to pay, deal with potential litigation. Like it's not going to be something they're going to do until the people speak up and say, well, if you want the pleasure of doing digital business, because you're saving on not making boxes and paper and physical media, you've got to spend something on the inheritance. We have to make them, basically.
Yeah.
And what happens when you want to split your library?
You got 4
between
kids.
people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
Like you do during the digital transference process, you say, like, you look at all 10,000 games and you're getting A through F, and then you're getting F through
Yeah.
T, and then you're getting T through Z or whatever.
Yeah.
One
However
kid
you wanna
gets
figure it out.
gets 99% of the library, another kid gets Starfield. You
Yeah,
really know. You get this really dark story.
One gets that. You give somebody else nothing but DLC for Universalis 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, Stellaris DLC or something.
Or, they just blow up like every 30 years you close down your business. I mean, that's the other option. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's a problem too, but
all that stuff. We haven't really thought about it as a people. We're going to start having to
I mean,
think
it's
about
still new. It's still new, right? Like people, we've also had games. How many games have disappeared from your Steam account that you don't know about?
Oh, good question. I would like to actually know that. Was there a way to tell? Is there a way like an API or something that I can?
I don't know.
Has there been any that they've confirmed where it's not a case of like?
I've seen them removed, right? Like Transformers removed. I still have it in my locker, but it's removed from purchase.
Oh,
but I
right.
think they have
from
removed
purchasable,
games.
yeah.
I think Ubisoft just did one, right?
They did, but I don't know if they could do it. I don't know if Steam would let them do it, but they may have made it to where, if you get into the game, it just doesn't work. I don't know how that relates to Steam.
I'm pretty sure there have been games that have been like removed, or if it requires a login, the login is shut down and you can't get access. I think Marvel Heroes. Was it called Marvel Heroes? The ARPG.
Yeah.
That one is one that went defunct.
That's a really great example because people put money. I put money in that game.
I put.
I spent money on
money in that game too.
Yeah.
I think that's technically like an online game.
And because it was a free to play game, I don't think it was ever technically in your library. So yeah, I think if I look, I don't think it's in there.
Yeah, I don't think so
because it was
either.
always like a add to library or to download sort of thing. So yeah, technically that's true. Because it should be in my library. I certainly played it and spent money on it, but it's not listed there.
I just looked
so, yeah,
too.
there's
I think
definitely
it's
been
not there.
games that have been removed.
I have one I think I know about actually, and I'm just gonna look for it before I say it. Yeah, Alpha Protocol.
Oh wow!
You guys remember Alpha Protocol?
I absolutely do. That's been removed from your account.
Yep, I don't have it in my account anymore.
Let's see.
When I search for it,
I own it too, and it's not in mine.
I
gone.
have it.
You have it?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I have it. I can install it. It's 11.15 gigabytes.
Oh, maybe I'm. Well,
I thought I had it too. Do I not have
maybe
it?
I didn't buy it. I don't know.
I thought
I bought it for like.
Once again, John wins while you lose.
Okay, no, it's good to check these things. Scott, do you have it?
I'm looking. I thought I did, but now I'm questioning it.
Hang on, let me check. Sometimes.
Where's my damn library in the web version? I have to go somewhere special. Oh, inventory. No, that's the giveaway stuff.
You gotta make it so that it shows the stuff that's not installed. That's always a mistake.
Here, I'll just run the app real quick here on my Mac.
Hang on.
Yeah, what was I going to say? All the free to play stuff that's gone defunct. I don't see any of that here still, but I think that's how they get away with that.
Okay, Alpha
Yeah,
Protocol's
that's
in
how they
my
get around
library
it.
too. I do have it. I just screwed it up. Sorry.
Yeah, well,
But I'm sure there are games that have been removed. I'm sure of it.
Okay, there it
But
is.
I couldn't think of. I wouldn't know. I have so many games in there. Unless it was like a recent thing, I would have no idea.
Alf, yeah, I must not. You know what it is? I have a code for it that I never input, and I bet that doesn't work.
Oh, you should try it.
There's
try it
no
and
way it's going
see.
to work. Let me try it.
No, try
All
it.
right,
See
all
if
right.
you get it.
All right, let me try it. I'll try it real quick and just paste it over.
Yeah.
There we go. There it is. Does not exist on this system, or does not exist in your
Oh
library.
man.
Yeah.
Lame.
Lame.
Throw out the code. Goodbye, code.
I can't think of any others though. Like I'm sure there's others, right? If I look at my whole library and I go all the way to the bottom, is this by date? Yeah. So Planet Side 2, that's still a thing.
That one's not gone.
I got a game called No More Room in Hell.
Somebody has to have documented this. Like, can't we just Google games removed from Steam?
Probably, and then you could match them up. Yeah. Oh, here we go. These are. Oh no, that's still It's still good. I don't know, man. I can't tell.
All delisted Steam games. 007 Legends, 007 Quantum of Solace,
Yeah.
3D Realms Anthology, 4 Elements.
Oh, we know one. You have the Transformers one.
Yeah, the Transformers games are on there.
Right.
There's actually quite a lot of these. I'm trying to look to see if there's anything. Oh, some of them get relisted. Like it says Alan Wake relisted.
Yeah. That's back on.
Alice Madness Returns relisted.
I think sometimes what happens I know this is how it happens because Unreal Tournament 2004 is not on there anymore, but I can get it. Why?
Assassin's Creed 3 got delisted.
Yeah, 3
Has
and
not been put back.
2. Oh no, 2's still on here. It looks like 2010 edition. Wonder how that looks if I installed it.
Oh, I still have it though. There's the original Assassin's Creed 3 and 3 remastered. I got both.
Yeah, Steam's policy is to if you paid for it, you always can get it. If you didn't and it's pulled, you don't have access to seeing it or buying it. That's why you get Transformers and we don't.
Yeah.
So I guess I appreciate them doing that. But, good old games, their whole thing is like, hey, DRM free, download the files, they're yours forever, put them in your own hard drive. I kind of wish everybody did that, but that's asking for things that aren't going to happen. I'm looking at the years here. I have a game.
It's just crazy to look at the games that got delisted. Crisis and Crisis 3 got delisted.
Really? I think those are back now, aren't they?
There's a remake.
Oh.
I don't know that necessarily they're back,
Crisis. Come on.
All of the Dirt games have been delisted.
Yeah, Crisis.
Dirt 2, Dirt 3, Dirt 4, and Dirt Rally.
Really?
Dirt Showdown.
I think they're back because EA pulled them and then brought them back.
Put them back.
Yeah.
Maybe this website just hasn't been updated. I don't know. No. When I search Dirt Rally 2.0 and Dirt 5 are what comes up.
Well, Dirt 5. Oh, you know what? You are right. Okay, it's just that I own them, so I can pull them.
Yeah.
Down. Okay. Yeah, you're totally right. Dirt 2.0, 5, and that's it. That's all it's on here, and some DLC. What happened to Dirt 1? I have that. Not enough dirt. Not enough dirt.
Not enough dirt.
Well, all right then. What else? One final thing. Riot unleashed a $500 cosmetic bundle. Bo, you gonna run out and get that? You gonna buy that?
Hell no.
Yeah, not interested. Oh, it's a
500.
shame.
I mean, if I was really into League, I probably would. It'd be tempting. I'm not gonna sit on a high horse. I just don't play League like that.
Let's see
Heroes
here.
It's like a big skin that has like Faker signature. He gets a cut of it, and it's supposed to be crazy. But 500's a lot.
Oh, Hall of Legends, they call it.
A cosmetic bundle. You get like some unique stuff in it, but it's cosmetic.
Okay, and it's a lot. You're right about it. It's a lot of these streamers, or not streamers, but esports kids.
It's an esports pro who's been Faker's been a name in pro league esports for a long time.
I'm never buying
like
that.
a Michael Jordan. Yeah, and some people are mad about it. They're gonna ban Ari, and I think it's Ari that the skin is for in every game, and blah blah blah. But I just thought it was worth mentioning that we've reached a new height with just a simple cosmetic for $500, and people are mad about it, and I think a lot of people are gonna buy it.
I was gonna ask if anyone here was interested in that new superhero game by the guys who did that old one everyone loved. I cannot remember it, but it's called Capes. Yeah. What was the original? There's that old game that everyone just absolutely loved back in the day, and it's the same team. Shit. So it has some cachet. But anyway, I'm kind of curious about it.
Capes?
Yeah. It looks neat. It's turn-based XCOM stuff.
Currently mixed on Steam.
Yeah, the reviews kind of put a stop in looking
Not sure
deeper. But
what the problem is.
PC Gamer.
People just can't get it to work.
Oh, PC Gamer gave it an 80, but that's pretty good. I'm curious about it. I like XCOM things and I like superheroes, so. And I also like fake superheroes. That's why I like City of Heroes. I like fake shit. It doesn't always have to be DC and Marvel for me. I like new ideas.
I think it's mainly the price is an issue.
I could see that.
And maybe the I don't know. It's a small amount of reviews, so I wouldn't. It's only 112 reviews. I mean, whatever. Half the people who bought it liked it, half who didn't. But it is, 52.99 Canadian. Pretty. It's pretty expensive. Doesn't make it a bad thing. I just don't. I need to see some gameplay. I've seen screenshots, but not gameplay.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes. Seems kind of neat.
Good.
That's it for the news. Now we read this text from a listener. Did I play the thing? No.
That's a good question.
Now I have. Here's what he says. Oh, Scott, you're all over the place. Here we go. This is a text from somebody with no name who says, well, he has a name, but he didn't leave it. I don't want to.
Man with no name.
Yeah, he's a man with zero name. No, he has a real
Is
name.
it Kiryu? Is that you, Kiryu?
I'm just going to call him no name. Does it pay nowadays to be a late gamer? This is interesting. This has come up a few times tonight. Says, I'll be 39 years old. I follow gaming news and trends closely as the industry has progressed, and I've always wanted to grab up new games on my radar as they drop. But in recent years, it seems like it might be, or it may pay to fall behind a few years and catch everything within a 2 or 3 year delay. It's cheaper. There's more content for those games at launch, or than there was at launch. And most of all, the games work properly and have all their intended content intact. Just food for thought, says no name. Yeah, there's this other aspect to this where we have hit a crescendo of aesthetics, and it doesn't mean that we can't get even more realistic and more crazy with particle effects and that one day it's just photorealistic. I'm not saying that's not possible. What I mean is we have gotten to the place where everything looks good. It all looks great. And something from 4 years ago, back in the day, 4 years would mean a completely different looking nightmare game, and you wouldn't want to play a game that old until it was retro and you had nostalgia for it. But today, like I talked about playing Assassin's Creed Origins, that game looks insane right now, and it's many years old now. Witcher 3 looks insane right now, many years old. Like, we're in a different kind of curve now. It's up here and it's kind of leveled off, where it used to be like this, and 3 or 4 years meant drastic changes. It doesn't happen anymore. So I think now more than ever, it's a great time for people to get off the must-have latest game train that they might be on, and instead, go back a few years, enjoy something that just went on sale that you heard was good at the time or whatever. So yeah, I think I agree with this dude.
If you can do it, because a lot of gaming, I think, and people who are in the gaming sphere suffer from the FOMO of it. And it's not all made up either, because I think there is value in having the conversation at the same time. Like, I love Elden Ring, and I loved playing through Elden Ring. But you know what I loved even more about playing through Elden Ring is that Bo and I were playing through Elden Ring at the same time.
Yeah.
And that we were able to go, oh, well, what did you do on this? Well, I did this. Did you see they nerfed my build? I was using this and they nerfed literally what I was using. This is crazy. Like, there was value in doing it at the time that it was relevant. And so I don't want to say FOMO and just say like, you're a bunch of babies that can't wait. Like, I think there's a lot to be had in chasing things while it's in the cultural zeitgeist. And I think there's value in that. But if you can wait and you don't mind that, I think in a lot of ways you get a better gaming experience, because you get the games when people are like, well, we've milked them for all they're worth, just put it out for anybody else. And you get a more complete package. Usually you get something that works better. You're not sitting there playing the new Jedi Survivor game going, why is the frame rate so bad on this? You're like, wow, why didn't more people talk about this game? So I think there's a better experience in some regards waiting for you if you can do that. But I do think that something is lost in the wait too. And it's just whether you're okay with losing that.
Yeah, sometimes I want to be no hype window, and that's when I like to pick up a game and play it. But then sometimes I want to be there day one. So, what John says, I think is true. It's a mixed bag, like anything like this. But I think there's so much of it that you can kind of do this anyway. You pick up a few day and dates because you're so excited about them. They fit you more perfectly or whatever, or they're great launches or whatever. But there's so much backlog. It's kind of like TV. I'm never going to run out of shit to watch. Right? There's shows that were huge on everyone's radar 2 years ago that I just plain missed. I would really enjoy going back. I'm doing that now with Outer Range on Prime. That is written for me, that kind of show. I love that stuff. And it's good. And there's a new season for it, but it's old. And it's okay. I didn't really miss it. I was okay. Not playing God of War Ragnarok, or I guess that's the DLC for it. God of War 2, whatever it is. Is it Ragnarok?
Yeah, that's Ragnarok.
That game plus its DLC is what's coming to PC soon. And you know what? It turns out I was fine waiting. I'm good. I didn't need to buy that day and date. And I remember some pressure at the time going, well, it's God of War. I got to do this.
Yeah.
But I'm good. I'll play it.
I feel like I've done that like 100 times this past year. Like there's like,
yeah,
just so many instances of games where I'm like, oh man, I'm so excited. Like during the show, we buy it, and I'm not in the mood to play it.
Yeah. The other thing that helps, Chat mentioned this spoiler aspect of it. One thing that helps me is I don't care about spoilers very much. It doesn't bother me at all. So you could say to me, Scott, there's this twist in the story, and here's what it is. And I'd just be like, all right, well, I'll get to it, and I get to it. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me at all. Movies, none of it doesn't bother me.
I think you learn to accept it doing what we're doing because we're talking about it.
Yeah.
We're steeping it. Like, I think it's easier to avoid if you're just like, I'm into games or whatever, let me turn this thing off. Or
Yeah, but even if you don't, like, if you care about spoilers, I get that it's harder. I'm just saying, if you don't care, then I like the journey of getting to things, even if I know the outcomes. So you could tell me how The Sixth Sense ended in 99 and I would have been fine. It wouldn't have bothered me. I would have still wanted to see how we got there. And it's the end. The end result is not as important to me as the journey to get there. So I don't know. I'm not like everyone though. Everyone's going to be different on that point. All right. Well, that's it for that. Thanks for that. If you want to send in your own texts to this show, 801-471-0462, we'll make it happen. Or you can email us, talktothecore@gmail.com. I would like to thank brand new patrons for joining us this week over there at Patreon.
Brand new Patreon.
Hell yeah. Patreon.com/core show. We got Andy S. and Joyce Zhang. Do you think that's how that's pronounced? I don't want to screw that up. Zhang? Zhang? Zhang?
Close. I mean, not perfect.
I would think.
Zhang.
Yeah,
Might be
I don't
Shang.
know.
Not sure either. But Joyce.
Did I share that?
Huh?
Sorry.
What'd you share? What is it?
Never mind. Oh, well, it reminded me of a TikTok I saw, but I'm in trouble.
Oh, that one you put in our thing is good. I laughed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that cracked me
How
up.
hard it is to learn. I mean, this isn't a Japanese name. I assume it's Mandarin, or Chinese. But
Yeah.
It's the Japanese. It was a Japanese TikTok about how hard it is to learn Japanese, but everything's like, this is a bedo, and this is a curtain,
This
and
is
this is a
paka.
hair dryer.
Yeah. I love it.
But it's just the way he presented it was very funny.
I have
It's
followed
like, good
him.
luck learning Japanese. It's so hard.
It's a YouTube short account called Matcha Samurai, and it is funny. You guys should check it out.
He's my new favorite YouTube account.
Nice.
I just like because he screams. You know, he just
Yeah, I like a good screamer. Bo, but just remember, if you go on a date with Bo, he likes it when you scream. Okay.
well, that's not.
Well, that's.
Oh, did
I think that was meant to be one way, and I ended up getting a
Oh.
little scary.
I see what I've done. Well, anyway.
If you want to yell hair dryer at me while we're making out, I guess. Hair dryer.
Hair dryer. Anyway, there's benefits. Joyce and Andy get benefits like no commercials ever, pre-show and post-show content, monthly benefits like host specials, all that fun stuff. Art in the mail from me. Ooh, I got to get some done. It's time. Anyway,
you guys have host specials to do too.
it's Bo's turn, but
Yeah. I've
Didn't
got
we
some work to
determine
do.
that it was everybody's turn?
did we?
Yeah, but John
Yeah,
did.
I think
you
we
did yours.
determined that we were 2 months behind,
Oh,
and that
right.
was you and Bo, and it was my month, and I've done my month.
Right. John did what he was supposed to do.
Scott, how dare you?
Yeah. I forget. I'm all messed up in my head. I need to do one. You know what? I'll do one. Bo will do one. Everyone will have done one in May.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
fire off-
Today's the 31st, so maybe
it's
it'll
the
be June.
31st. Not everyone's going to do one in May. What are you doing? You're really committing to some stuff here. Look, here's what we'll promise you. We're a little behind, but
Yeah.
everyone will have done one in May.
That's right. That's what we can guarantee.
Derek, chat room's mad. We haven't had a mashup in a while.
I know. Well, that's a Jamie thing. I'll poke him. I'll see what's up.
Just
He's doing good. I
Look,
talked to him
we
here and
don't pay Jamie.
there. No, he just
for his work. So, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, he does it when he can, and it's good enough for us, and it's totally fine. And it's not part of the Patreon anyway, so everyone gets mashups when they happen. Also, I forgot to mention this. I'm going to start doing a series of indie developer interviews that'll be short, like 20, 30 minutes. They'll go up on the Patreon first for a week. They'll get a week of it, and then to the public. It won't even be listed among the benefits, at least not right away, but because I want to get a few under our belt, make sure it's something we want to do long term. But I love the idea of giving more indies more voice. It's a very competitive space. They don't have a lot of great ways to get noticed unless some big publication says their name or something. And some of these are like one or two guys working on a project. I want to get these guys on the phone and just have a sit-down interview and talk about their game, why it's cool, what they've been doing, why people should be interested. Not commercials, like, what's your process? What was the hardest part about getting this game made? Do you think it's going to go well? These kinds of things. And then put them up as, little interview episodes, give you patrons early access to it, and then throw it out to everybody else after that. So watch for those. I don't know when the first one's going to drop, but I even talked someone to help me do the wrangling of these people.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool thing. And
I love that idea.
Part
we
of me
could all do that if there's people we can interview.
Oh,
absolutely. Deckard Cain.
Yeah, absolutely.
So...
Yeah, absolutely. And that's my thinking is if we get enough of this going, we could just say, "Oh, Bo, this dude used to work on Heroes and he's got his own game now. You should interview him." And Bo does an interview with him. And that kind of thing. I think it'd be really
more value to the patrons.
More value to the patrons, but also I just have a soft spot for the indie scene right now. They are doing the most innovative, interesting things out of the whole industry. But they also have the hardest time getting their voice heard. And I feel like maybe we could do something about that. So anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll let you guys know what and when. That's it for the show. I guess we're out of here. We probably should tell Grandma to do stuff. Grandma, I'm going to hand you the microphone.
Grandma, clean the dishes.
Wake up.
Lunch.
Wake up, Grandma. Make lunch. I'd like some biscuits, some hard candy, and a description of the games we played today for those who forgot.
Throw out the weird sauce.
Well, since you've been so polite getting me out here on the stage, I guess I'll remind you what the games were that they played. Scott played The Rogue Prince of Persia, and that is a game that's not just like, it's the rogue one. It's gone wild. It needs to be stopped.
Yeah.
He says you should at least listen to the soundtrack, so, look for that too. He played Archaeogem.
Yeah.
That's the game that was like Celeste.
Yeah.
He played Darkest Dungeon 2.
Yeah.
He played Railbound. That's the train puzzly game.
Mm-hmm.
And he played Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah. Love it.
John played Duck Detective, The Secret Salami. If you're sitting there wondering what was the game John was talking about that was a duck detective, it was Duck Detective, The Secret Salami.
Uh-huh.
He also continues to play Final Fantasy XIV. What else is new? Bo played Heroes of the Storm. This show used to be about Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, it did.
Back in my day.
Uh-huh.
He also played 30 minutes of Fabledom. Not a minute more, not a minute less. 30 minutes. And he's playing WoW Season of Discovery.
Yeah.
Still,
reinstalling all of his things.
He continues to do it. He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. Yeah, I think he is. Pat him on the head, send him on his way. Nicely done, Thanks. Grandma. We appreciate it. It's great having you all here. We'll be here next week with another episode. We'll let you know if it's going to be the Friday thing because of we're trying to time it around these events, and if we're just going to do a live show of us commentating or if we're going to do a regular show, we don't know. We're going to get together and figure it out, and we'll let you guys know. All right? So keep track of our Discord and all our socials and all that stuff, and we'll give you guys the news as soon as we have it. That's going to do it for us, for me, for Bo, for John, for Grandma, for Martha, for that other guy. We'll see you next time.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.